Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Welcome. Welcome to episodes 4 of Discuss Things, Tangent Kings. We're here. We are not queer, at least some of us, but we are also very, very good. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We have a full show, we have a full panel, we have a full on mindset of having great time with you guys in the chat and with everyone else. And without any further ado, because I don't want to talk about too much about myself, I want to present you with the awesome people that are here now. First of all, say hello to the co-host of this show, the absolute dignified cartoon gentleman. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Helzo. Great to see that my mentor's clone is doing so well. Check out some of Helzo's early videos, and you'll see him as a baby, desperately trying to master the English language.
Right out of the pod, of the cloning pod. We're also are joined by Roger from Country Time Pub. Hello, Roger. Welcome.
Howdy. Welcome for having me on once again.
You're always welcome. Thank you for being here. Next up is Jace. Jose, cancel this podcast. Hello to you.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Happy to have you here.
Infuriated Final Fantasy 14 Twitter.
Excellent. That's always good to know that you infuriate people. We're also joined by Ryan, who is Legion Toe. Hello, it is good to have you on the show. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. I was right under the buzzer because I was playing just an impromptu the Thing remastered stream. So it's a lot of fun playing that game. Brings back the old PS2 memories.
Nice. And for now, we have a amazing special guest, a very, very amazing person, content creator. I want you all to welcome Scooby Pup. Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me in. I apologize for my voice.
It is totally fine.
I've been playing Wu Chang, and a boss that I'm currently on has got me angry to the point where they stole my voice.
Well, I know that such games can make you extremely raging. I've had my experiences with some of them very recently. But yes, also hello. Before we go to our respective intros, I would like to say hello to the whole chat. We have Dignified Cartoon Gentleman being the first, as I think it's becoming a trend, which is always good. We have Sonia Lisette, we have Clinton Ian Van Tonder, we have me, we have Villery, we have Cancel This Podcast. I'm probably butchering some of the names. Sorry, I'm a Balkan. We have Lionheart, we have Seabrew, we have Roadkill, and do we have anyone else? Zalosi, yes. Who? Legion. Oh yes, of course. I was getting because I was Zalosi. Yes, we have all of these people here to watch and listen to us talk. So, without any further ado, let's get to our respective intros, and I will start backwards this time because I was told last show that it is better to do the special guest last, and I don't want to do them first because doing someone last is an honor, apparently. Giggity. So that was very amazing. So just as I was about to announce it, Roger just went and completely buggered off. Okay, so well, we're skipping off. We're like rabbits. We're gonna just hop to Jace. Hello, Jace.
No. He's not getting away with this. Hey, I'm Roger. I'm Roger from Country Time Pop.
He's back.
I'm Az, but
I had to answer the door real quick.
That was the biggest call out ever. All right, so without any further ado, Roger, after you have answered the door, how have you been? What's been going on
game?
Do what now? What'd you say?
How have you been?
You had
okay. I've been doing pretty good. I'm still getting everything set up for the relaunch officially of Country Time Pop, but other than that, just been playing some more D&D over at the Rustic Rollers channel. We actually started a new one last night for the Curse of Strahd campaign. If anybody has ever participated in that one. It's like one of those. It's pretty much one of those like pre-made ones, but they have like a whole different kind of rule set that is different from every other D&D campaign that you could see out there.
I personally cannot speak about D&D because I
Yeah, I've never played
have no
D&D.
knowledge of that.
That's fair. I didn't know until like last year myself.
That is something that I personally keep very actively away from, just like Warhammer, because I know that if I dip my toes in properly, I'll probably be consumed by it, and then everything
will.
that yeah, right?
You will.
Yeah.
We
I've been
we
trying
all
to being
know.
recruited for, especially for Dungeons and Dragons by a friend of mine for years now, and I'm saying, nope, I have a moniker of life left. I have a sense left that I have a connection to real life. I don't want to lose that, so please don't.
Ooh,
Good,
you
'cause
have a
it
social
will
life.
consume it.
Ooh,
Oh, y'all know I'm a
Ooh.
functioning adult. No, burn me at the stake.
not allowed to be a functioning adult anymore.
A functioning
okay?
adult
The
in this economy.
last
to
person who was an
overfunction.
adult in this sphere got shot in the neck. Jose, how
Oh,
have you
goodness.
been?
I like how he transitions from that directly to
Good
me
Lord.
because I'm the most likely one for that to happen to. Especially
It's 'cause
Well, we
you-
already
dude,
got
don't
a
take it personally. It's because you're
Don't
brown.
That's
Well,
true.
They will break from rocks soon.
Yeah, but yeah, these Final Fantasy 14 fans are driving me nuts. I'm Jace with Cancel This Podcast, which is available on Rumble because I'm too crude for YouTube. That's right. The only time you get me on YouTube is when I'm here on these panels, mainly because I don't want to deal with the drama everyone else has to deal with YouTube. But yeah, some Final Fantasy 14 morons are really mad because I called out the fact that there are guilds named after Antifa. And so I sort of tagged Square Enix. I tagged a few of, I thought it was further up my pay grade. So I tagged like Smash, Hypnotic, Grums, people in the know. And like, hey, there are Antifa groups in Final Fantasy 14. Should this be going on? And of course, that enraged every wacky weirdo leftist with a trans flag in their bio or some kind of communist, leanings. And to further antagonize them, since I also play Final Fantasy 14, I named my free company I Am Charlie Kirk with the tag TPUSA out of spite. Because you know what? If you guys are going to bring up your politics into the game, well, tough shit, then it's equality as far as I'm concerned. And so I would rally any and all Final Fantasy 14 players who are not wacko leftists, all 7 of them, to push back on this shit.
Well said.
Yeah, Jose, you need to tell me like what server you play on, and I'll join your company.
Definitely. I'll send that to you. It's Marilith, if you can remember it, but I'll send it to you either way.
Guys, we got a Ryan and we got a Roger. I'm sensing some deja vu here. Hey, Legion, how have you been?
I've been outstanding, dignified cartoon gentleman who doesn't sound like somebody that I used to know. But anyway, it's nice to be here. I usually have to work Mondays. Took a little bit of, taking a little time off of work. So I figured, what the hell? I got time. It'd be fun to be and talk to new, different people. I've talked to, 2 of you. That would be, Jose and the dignified gentleman. But yeah, it's good to be here. I have 87 YouTube channels. I subscribed all of them to you on this because, it never helps to, and always hit that like button. So hell to the chat and the panel. It's nice to be here.
It's so nice to be here. Sorry, Jose, I changed your name for the lols.
I didn't even see that.
Oh shit, that's funny. That's funny.
I can easily change it. I can easily change it back because, ladies and gentlemen,
Too late.
let's just say that life finds a way. Okay, life finds a way. I am the dignified cartoon gentleman. I explore why things go wrong in pop culture, entertainment, and wider gaming spaces. I am one of the founders of the network. This is one of the network shows, and I'm very pleased that the channel has that my channel has more than doubled in size in the first 3 weeks of the network. That is a sure sign of success. And just to do a bit of comparison with my mentor, it took him until he got about 2,000 subscribers to get the kind of viewership that I am getting right now at 128. So
I do have a question. Have
I'm
you
next.
passed Dan yet? Have you passed Dan?
No, but we're going to. That is my mission. That is
That
my
is the
mission.
most
show,
important
he's
thing.
definitely gonna pass him after the show.
If I don't pass Furious Dan in 3 months, I'm going to take a loaded gun and blow my head off. How about
I
that?
didn't think you guys had those there.
No,
you
I'm
gonna
in
come
Israel.
to
We
the
have
US
plenty of
together?
weapons. We
Okay.
have plenty of weapons.
Yeah,
in Israel.
your police just
And
confiscated from
targets.
you along with your free speech.
Exactly. But thank you all very much for being here. Thank you to all the great people in the chat. Shout out to our lurkers as well. Hopefully none of you are crazy. But if you are, we'd love to have you on the show. And it's great to see our special guest here, who is a cartoon lady. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Scooby Pup. I happen to have two of my mods in your chat. Hello, Sonia. Hello, Zalosi. I like to do. I look to gameplay, and as Discuss mentioned earlier, I rage a lot when I'm playing games. But then again, there's a lot of times when I'm playing games, and I'm just happy to be playing games. You won't hear me rage much at all during certain games. And I have a show called Podcast, in which I interview random guests that are either friends of mine or that are just people that are interesting. I would like to get to know, like Ginger Ninja, who's a great artist. Cult Classic Cage, she's also a friend of the channel. I invite them over. We have nice little conversations about games, movies, TV shows. And I also host a show called Scooby Pup's Refuse, where I review, with a random co-host, I review a movie or a game or a TV show. For the first one we did was Shin Godzilla. This October I'm going to be reviewing The Conjuring with that darn kid from YouTube.
That's
Nice.
good to know.
That's
What about
good.
you, Elzo? How have you been?
I have been great. Cat is back to healthy mode. Every test is okay. For those of you who don't know, I was very off the rails the last couple of weeks because of that, because I was getting virtually no sleep. But everything is fine now. Everything is going well. And as I see that our very own Furious Dan is basically kicking off today's donation train.
Oh, let me get
with
my
$5.
notebook because I have to write down all the money everyone in the network makes so I can get a cut.
That's how
So
you know
fine.
he's from Israel.
Yeah, so he
Yep.
can extort us afterwards with interest rates.
Yep.
He says,
I'm just
keep it
really-
up, Digny.
Sorry, go
Yes.
ahead. No, go ahead. I'll
Okay,
wait.
I'll just read the chat and we'll go through it again. Keep it up, Digny. I will bring brother Raja over there, and you have to pay for his boat that you sang when he traveled you to Israel. Well,
There's
I
only
don't.
guys, come on. There's only one people lower than Palestinians, and that's Indians. Thank you for your donation.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Furious
Puerto
Dan.
Ricans. I thought you were going to say Puerto Ricans since Dan.
No.
We're a
Puerto-
very
Puerto
progressive
Ricans-
show, guys. We like
Yes,
all
we are.
races. We
We
like
are.
all Orients.
Look.
I'm just glad to see
Some
that
good
Dan
grilled.
stayed out of ICE custody again for another week. So that's always some positive.
Look. Thank you to Furious Dan. We do honestly appreciate how kind-hearted he is and how he hasn't got a drop of maliciousness in his body, unlike myself and my mentor, who is practically run with or by malicious intent, because we are bitter and resentful over my mentor losing his channel, and we're going to come back with a vengeance. Wink, wink. So yeah, thank you for your donation.
Driving forces.
Yes,
Yeah.
like the stream, share the stream. Donations are welcome. And
Always.
Black Lives Matter. I want Palestine to be a state because only states can be blown up. Go ahead, Hellzo.
Well, I was just going to finish up that all super chats go to the growing of the channel and to another cause that I've been committed to, helping homeless animals and animals in shelters. This is something that we're doing. Memberships are the most welcome because you get to see what we do about those homeless animals on a weekly basis. But with that said, let's get on with the show and to our first topic that Ryan. Nope, no Ryan here. Oh no, we have a Ryan here.
There's only
Ryan,
one.
you were going to say something, yes, because I actually was very rude with that super chat.
No, it was actually my fault. I had a joke. It was about Dan evading ice. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of Dan, and the longer he evades ice, the better. So,
well, he'll pump the
They
brakes.
call it. Some
At least
people
he
call
makes
it.
them.
Some people call it tax evasion, but others call it ice evasion. Now, I do apologize because I haven't told our guest or our regulars about our topics. I've just told the host because my mentor is a lazy bastard who doesn't want to do anything now that he is retired. But the first topic we're going to talk about is a few days old, but it's about the ABC affiliate being hit with gunfire. The shots were fired the day after Jimmy Kimmel got fired. Now, I'm going to tell you all this, folks, just to keep it, jovial for a moment, just for the first minute. It's better to get fired than it is to get shot. And it just goes to show that there are plenty of political extremists out there, especially now what's gone down has gone down. And look, you can see all the reactions, all the crazies out there. It's nuts. And I think it's very dangerous for our democracy. Wink, wink.
It is an amazing thing to see, and I'm just gonna add this. So this is from the New York Post. The thing is that having a full-blown protest in front of the ABC building when Jimmy Kimmel was fired, and having the building being shot at, just goes to show how sensible people versus how to put it in YouTube terms, mentally absent people or morally absent people react when something fundamentally changes in the world, because this is a consequence of what happened to Charlie Kirk. Jimmy Kimmel being taken off the air for his words is a consequence. This is not canceling. This is not a cancel culture. This is consequence culture, and it differs from cancel culture, because cancel culture is going after someone for saying something maybe stupid 15 years ago. Maybe he was drunk and he was feeling okay with it, and 15 years ago it wasn't such a big problem, and then trying to ruin his entire life in present day. That is what cancel culture is. It is flagship, it is moved, it is made and run by absolute lunatics.
Helzo, if you want to use cancel culture tactics, Jimmy Kimmel is a fantastic example. He wore blackface, ruin his life until the end of time, and turn him into roadkill. And speaking of roadkill, money. Thank you, roadkill, for $4.99. In which you say, Dan hates people with disabilities. I watched him kick someone in a wheelchair.
I think that was to test the brakes on the wheelchair that he made. So that was a field test.
I gotta say, when it comes to the whole Jimmy Kimmel situation, where the hell was this support when Stephen Colbert got fired? Nobody got this much support. I mean, nobody stood behind Stephen Colbert when he got fired. Nobody made this much of a big stink when he got fired over just a few words about the president. Nobody said anything. Nobody did anything. And yet here we are. Jimmy Kimmel says something about Charlie Kirk when he dies. He gets fired, and all of Hollywood all of a sudden has a stick up their ass. It's like, okay, you know what? You assholes got nothing to talk about. You weren't there for Stephen Colbert, so what the hell? All of a sudden you're there now because what? It's a Disney Channel?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
No,
to add to what you said. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Roger. Sorry.
No, basically what it is that basically what's going on is that this is a reaction to everything that's gone on with Charlie Kirk. Because like, if anybody remembers that one TikTok creator that says like Charlie Kirk isn't no martyr material, you all are stupid because nothing's going to change. We've seen all the events that happened when that's changed. So basically all they're doing is the reason why they are so up in arms about it is because they're trying to make Jimmy Kimmel their leftist martyr in the same way.
Yeah, this is true. But I was going to say, they did, to add to what Scooby said, they didn't even turn up for Kimmel to begin with. His ratings were in the toilet. I mean,
exactly.
He's got 130,000 or less viewers, and half of those people are old people that fell asleep watching something else and happen to have left the television on. And isn't it telling that the same side that wants to take our guns away are the side that uses them irresponsibly and recklessly?
Exactly.
That's the irony of the entire situation here.
Well, it's not only that, also, is that when it comes to Jimmy Kimmel, half the time he wasn't even at his own damn show. Half the time he had some guest host there in his place. He was rarely there.
Remember when Brie Larson
took
over? Remember when Brie
Go for
Larson took over and she had her boobs out and it was all over the internet? Like, and they're like, you know what? I might be a fan of Brie Larson now. This is before the Marvels, right?
What episode was that, Legion?
I don't remember.
All of a sudden, Digny's a late night fan again.
Yeah, you can probably bring the ratings back.
All of a sudden, Digny cares about the. All of a sudden, Digny cares about the U.S. time zone and.
Yeah,
gosh, I gotta dig my knee into somewhere, Scooby.
But the reason Kimmel misses so many shows is because every so often he has to make an offering and fillet Obama again. Which Obama is up to your imagination because they both have genitalia allegedly.
The last one that he had to remove himself from is because he said something dumbass there too. And so no, this is I agree 100%. Scooby was going in the right direction, and then of course Roger picked it up. The exact thing I was going to say. This is literally like, oh well, you guys are trying to make Charlie Kirk a martyr, and it's like, well, I mean, he was murdered on live stream in front of how many freaking people, and the clip circulated for probably billions of people to view. So a little bit, and then of course, Jimmy Kimmel talks out his ass again because he can't stop lying. And yes, there is a media thing in the United States, and Obama, thank you for that, you giant jackass. He signed it into law, saying that media is allowed to spread propaganda. They're allowed to lie. They don't have to say the truth. So that's what Jimmy Kimmel went out there and did. And yes, you reap what you sow, dude. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So, and look, the affiliate companies, 100 million households through the affiliate companies of ABC. They said, we're not going to play this crap anymore. It's low ratings, first off. And secondly, he's an ass.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow. I'm sorry.
And here's the thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Scooby.
And not to mention, half the people out there, and I'm surprised ABC and a lot of them haven't picked up on this. It is like you guys say, old. The only people who actually watch this show is people who are older and pretty much fall asleep. Because I've seen my mom do that, and the youth of today, the mid and such, if you're not old, then basically you're going to be watching a streaming service. You're not going to be watching TV because there's nothing good on TV anymore. You're going to be watching a streaming service like Prime. You're going to be watching you're going to be watching a streaming service like Prime or Tubi or all those different kinds of things, or even just flat out playing games. You're not watching TV. There's nothing going on.
Exactly.
Yes, and that's why they're trying to infiltrate those stuff as well with shows, with propaganda shows, especially Netflix, HBO, stuff like that. And all the shows that are coming out, if you have seen the new lists of seemingly non-important shows and stuff, like everything is so much propaganda, and that's. It kind of removes from this topic, but it's also very connected because the people that were on that protest in front of ABC are the same people that celebrated the FTR Kirk, and there's the same mindset that will go, well, we being angry for a spokesperson, if they want to call Jimmy Kimmel like that, being fired, we're not okay with that, but you don't have to. You don't get to be angry about us celebrating Charlie Cook's death because you're the evil ones. We're the right ones. They don't have the concept of humanity. I am a Balkan. I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm as far removed from American politics and American stuff and American anything in real life as I can be. The only thing that I am not removed right now is because there's a war going on in one country over, and it's very possible that it's gonna leak over here if nothing's done. However, when I saw and I actually heard about Charlie Cook being shot on a network show, I think it was on a Wednesday, and I just popped it to listen to it. It was Noise show, and Digny was just saying about it, and I immediately felt how bad this is when you have someone that, agree with him or not, he wanted to have a conversation. Yeah, you're gonna argue, you're probably gonna get angry from his talking points. You may not agree, but he wanted to talk. He didn't want to shoot up. He didn't want to invite you to a boxing match or a instant death jungle battle or something like that, or a manhunt or whatever. And now these same people are saying, well, we're angry because you fired someone from a late show. Let's just keep it real. Jimmy Kimmel has a shitload of money.
Yes, exactly.
From his show, he has money to live comfortably to the rest of his life. I think, how old is he? 30, 35, something like that.
No, I think he's closer to his 50s.
I don't know, but he has enough money to last him a lifetime of absolute comfort.
Hell, so he's 57.
He's what?
Crap.
He's 57. I'll give him this. He looks good for 57.
I was going to say
that.
For a 57-year-old, he looks damn good. I'm not
guys,
saying anything in every sexual way, but yeah.
Guys, this is towards the end of a network video, so I can say this. Adrenochrome is one hell of a drug.
It's true. No, but I do want to speak on Kimmel myself. The thing about Jimmy is that Jimmy has never been particularly that talented. He's always failed upward. He was the least talented part of the Man show, and the reason that he got to where he is because of the fact that he is willing to do whatever the establishment in power, the leftist establishment, tells him to. We've seen him do humiliation rituals. We've seen him do award shows, and he's always head down while the Black Lives Matter guy shouts in his face. He's willing to basically cuck out for the establishment. And so what happened is he thought because of that he was essentially untouchable, can do what he wants, say what he wants, disparage who he wants. And the network told him, no, this joke is a little bit too far even for us. And he's like, no, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. I've earned it. You've earned it with your 0.8 rating. The network then has to look at it from a business standpoint. That's what a lot of these people don't understand. These opinions are my own people. Yeah, your opinion's your own, but when you're representing the company has to do what's best for the company. What's best for the company is not Jimmy Kimmel moving forward. They could throw reruns of Golden Girls up and score higher ratings than they do with episodes of Jimmy Kimmel's show.
Presently, that's true.
Yeah. Digny has talked about it before.
Maybe your own, but you're also posting them online publicly so other people can see them. They have their own opinion. Their own opinion that your opinion sucks. So they're going to say that to you. And their opinion is just as valid as yours.
The thing is, though, is like he said, you could stick old episodes of Golden Girls and you'd get better ratings. It's true. Why? Because people loved Betty White.
I was very interested in hearing what Jose had to say, especially in relation to me, because my ego is bigger than all of you combined.
Digny, you've said on previous shows is that, the era of the late night talk show is pretty much done. It's for boomers. It's for old people. This is not something that's moving up in the world. What we do here on YouTube carries more weight than what Jimmy Kimmel does every night on broadcast television. And that's the reason why all these establishment dinosaurs do have to get out of the way. Colbert has to get out of the way. Kimmel's got to get out of the way. Fallon probably is not likely to be renewed. And frankly, it's 5 shows with the exact same opinions. Everyone's boring. Even Johnny Carson said, just because you have a platform doesn't mean you should push your political opinion around, because that's not entertainment. Our goal on these late night shows is to be entertaining. There's nothing entertaining about clapter because you're trying to appease a political establishment. You're trying to be an activist for the Democrat Party. You know, conservatives buy shoes too. It's the old adage. So
Exactly.
you know, he needs to move to the side if he's not going to do that, because they could put somebody in who's probably a lot more neutral and do a lot better. Not much better, because it's still a late night show, but they would do a lot better if they would just lay off of the political nonsense, because people are sick and tired of hearing about it every single day, everywhere they go.
Unless you are very good at political jokes, like example, Stephen Colbert. He is a political comedian. They when he was hired, when NBC hired him, they knew that. He knew his limits. The only reason he got fired is because the president didn't like him. But he knew his limits. He knew what he could say. He knew what was in good taste, what wasn't in good taste. That is a professional comedian. That's what a political comedian should be like.
I personally think the funniest thing Stephen Colbert did, you know, the vaccine dance. That was funny, wasn't it? In a totally not strange way. What did
Madam Web?
Kimmel has never been funny, and I would love to see Kimmel be replaced by Ricky Gervais on his show. That would be hilarious.
Oh, that'd be hysterical. Also,
Yeah.
bring back Craig
That's gonna be a
Ferguson. He was
wholly
the
different
only
show.
one that was funny.
Come on, AOC should have a late night talk show.
I do want to add one more thing about this Kimmel thing that they don't understand, is the reaction to it, which has been to act like he's a free speech beacon being silenced by the left, has done nothing but radicalize more moderates. My girlfriend is much more moderate than I am. All right. And she's been pushed further to the right because she says it's this false equivalency where they think it's okay to shoot a man in the neck, but it's not okay for Jimmy Kimmel to lose his job. And
Exactly.
She's like, I'm done. I'm done trying to even reason with these people or give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. There's nothing left to discuss with these people.
That's
That's
gonna be a very big trend in like from now on, with a lot of people who are either undecided or are just don't want to meddle with politics, or they don't even want to listen to politics anymore. They're gonna have to, like, if they have, because this is not even left and right. And I think I said it in the previous show. There's not left. This is sensible people, moral people, seeing what amoral people are doing and what they're cheering on and what they're not cheering on. And it just so happens that 99.9% of these amoral people are on the left.
Absolutely.
Well, the best way you can get a good understanding of that is that, does anybody here watch Shoe on Head?
No.
I don't watch her, but I did
Oh,
see
yeah.
her.
I
comments.
recommend
Wait, that's a creator with a shoe on her head? That seems cool.
I do. I do.
If you get a chance, you all should really watch the latest video that she posted up, because it does like an excellent breakdown of actually showing. She has like a good 5 minutes compilation of like all the people that were cheering for Charlie's
but
assassination and everything, and she just gives like this excellent breakdown about how things have escalated to the point of where they are. Because one saying that she had like from videos a long time ago of like, you might not be interested in politics, but politics is interested in you.
This is true.
She's never been left or right, by the way, before. She's always trying to go into the way of a sensible thing, and she has been talking about both sides for a long time now.
Yeah.
And like she's talked about gender, about the trans community, about everything. She has talked about some stuff on the right. She's always been like just trying to make sense of all things, and now she's gonna get pushed to one side, just like a lot of other people.
Well, it's not the fact of her getting pushed to one side. It's the fact that the side that she was originally on, because she has stated many times, she's like an old school Bernie Sanders girl.
Yeah, she is.
It's not the fact that she's moving to the side. It's the fact that they keep on moving further and further left until she is just far right in the.
I've been watching her for probably a couple of years now. Yeah, she is an old school Bernie Sanders supporter, and so she doesn't support all this new crap that they're pushing. And I changed my hat to probably the greatest MAGA hat of all time. But anyway, because the president retweeted that that thing. Anyway, but long story short, she is so torn up about this because she didn't know Charlie Kirk. But the thing is, though, is that she had friends, really good friends that she has made because she went to an actual Turning Point USA event, and this is in her most recent video, so I'm not going to spoil it 100%. She met friends that she is still friends with to this day that knew Charlie Kirk, and she sees her old school friends from being more liberal, more classic liberal, who have become massively leftist and psycho, celebrating his death, and she actually gets emotionally torn up because she's like how the because because the way she describes it, she's like, how the fuck did we get here? Yes, how the fuck did we get here to where you can dehumanize a person so much to where you think that it justifies literally sitting on top of a building. And I was in the US Army. Like, you know what? That's about as personal as it gets. Looking through at somebody through the other end of a rifle, knowing you're going to pull the trigger and then doing it, that will haunt you for the rest of your fucking life. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Lilith in the chat actually makes a good point. The reason why she is seeing this through all this perspective.
Lilith can't make a good. Impossible. Wow. As the Chinese say.
Come on, man.
Oh boy.
But it's the fact that she's a mother now. It's like that whole entire mindset of whenever you're growing up and everything, you have like these more liberal kind of views and all that. But once you have a child, it really changes your perspective, not just in your life, but just everything around you, because now you have somebody else that you have to actively take care of for, and you want to make sure that they have the best possible life as possible. And those kind of ideals lean more towards conservative idealism.
I've watched that happen a lot with my co-host, Alcohol, because he, once he had his child, now he's sort of gravitating, further to the right. He used to be more of the moderate one on the show. Now there's some things where he's to the right of me on, and I'm like, how the fuck did that happen?
Well, it just goes to show, and an underlying arc of today's show, folks, is the danger of extremism. And this is a point I've made before, but I'll make it again. That from a European perspective, the right dealt with its radicalism, but the left has never dealt with its radicalism. The right famously dealt with its radicalism in a massive war that killed many millions of people. We can't have that luxury this time because nuclear weapons exist. But the point is, folks, what we're dealing with, especially in the US and the UK, and I'd say most of the Western world, it's an internal problem, and it requires solutions that are going to make a lot of upstanding people uncomfortable. But this problem, if it's not addressed, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And the thing that happened to the ABC affiliate getting rained down in terms of gunfire, it's going to be the rule, not the exception, if we allow this dangerous radicalism to exist in a civilized society. It doesn't matter if they're 10% of the population or 5% or 1%, right? 1% of 365 million people is a lot of people. That's dangerous, man, right? It doesn't take many to cause just outright chaos and destroy our civilization. And that's the thing we got to focus on. We got to focus on where are the radicals, where is the danger, and who is leading the charge on this. Because a lot of leftists, I'm using the American term because none of you can spell communism. A lot of leftists, they use the shepherd-sheep principle. A lot of them are, sheep, and they only let a few shepherds guide them. As Dash Attack is playing V Bridger now. So shout out to you, Dash Attack. I don't know what V Bridger is, but I'm going to assume it's a Steam porn game.
Probably.
There we go.
I mean, I hope he's playing it on a platform he's allowed to play it on. If you've ever seen that dude's second Twitter, whoa.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Why my mentor gave him I do not know.
It's just one of those things that quite frankly, this is, and look, this has been a thing throughout human history, and as somebody who has a history channel, and I'm a massive history buff, I don't know everything, and I don't claim to. Russia has gone through this. China has gone through this. This is a cultural revolution, and quite frankly, it starts with literally this kind of garbage, this ideological infection that spreads, and then you get Antifa, the brown shirts from Nazi Germany. Oh, sorry, well, maybe we're not supposed to say that. But
Don't
anyway,
worry, it's towards the end of a network video. You can say things towards the
okay.
end.
But anyway, the long story short of it is that National Socialism supported women not being in the home, women being promiscuous, women. There were actual prominent posters of propaganda of women, explicitly pornographic even, of women doing whatever they wanted, of men basically, like subserving themselves. And it basically tearing the old school German government down so National Socialism could take hold. And then they had the brown shirts. They had their Antifa likes. They had their BLM likes, who basically drug people in the street and decided they wanted to curb stomp them because, quite frankly, you don't believe how we believe, and we have labeled you as the worst people in the history of the world. Yes, under old school German politics, that is labeled as right. And in the real world that we live in now, it is far left. That is what is going on. And if you don't fight it, you get a repeat of history. And quite frankly, I'm not a big fan of the guy either. But like when all this kind of kicked off, all this wokeism, yes, Vladimir Putin came out and he's like, you know what? Russia went through this once. He's like, you better stop this now or it's going to get to a place you don't want it to go. Because that is true. History has an awful way of repeating itself. And human beings, we just can't seem to learn our lesson. And we're doing it again.
And what's crazy is, just to put a bow on this topic, in China, Red China today, it was the moderate communists that won out, not the radical ones who actually inflicted the Cultural Revolution to try and wipe out. I know it's a contradiction in terms, moderate communist, but they tried to wipe. They failed, but they tried to. Yeah. So it just goes to show we're dealing with this in the West now. We can bring ourselves back from the brink and be better than ever before. But that's the overarching thing for all of these topics, folks, dealing with extremism. And I think the next topic is another great example.
A very good topic.
I'm just going to write that down, folks, because I love writing. 42 minutes. Come on, work, Black Pen. It's your job.
That's why I feel like this
You're asking the impossible.
Everybody out. Like everybody's like, oh.
Oh, don't worry. A great way of dealing with extremism, folks. 2.2, Erica Kirk prepares lawsuits over Charlie's murderous political assassination and the coverage surrounding it. Should Review Tech USA be worried? Good old Dickers, ladies and gentlemen. It's Dickers. It's Dickers saying that Charlie deserved it.
Such an appropriate name.
Shout out to Dickers. He's actually wearing a shirt.
Well, and he's not watching Smash JT's kids. So, any clothing and not watching somebody else's kids combined, that's a good thing. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, this is courtesy of, thank you for this, Helzo, but this is courtesy of Smash JT, a former guest of a network show. Quote, failed YouTuber Review Tech USA, who takes his shirt off to watch my kids in a video, infers Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, speech was fake just days after her husband's head was, neck. Let's get it right, Smash, you fake journalist. Neck was blown off. This is a new low, even for Dickers. My good. Could you full screen that, Hellzone?
Yes, I will. And let's just, this is a 40-second clip.
Yep.
Try to. Yeah.
For everyone who's watching this, restreaming this, if you think this is genuine, you are very special. You are very unique. This is some of the worst acting. Like, she would give fucking the people that are on those Hallmark shows a run for their money. Give me a break. Give me a break. You could restream me all of them, all you want to. If you buy into this, this says more about you
Yeah, we are
than
definitely
it does about me.
Shit.
For everyone,
Okay, folks.
Thoughts?
I know me and
What a
I know
fat sack
me and
of shit.
Scooby can't put our hands up, but hands up if you've never watched a creator you dislike shirtless with their kids on the video. I'm putting my hand up right now. Roger, put your own hand up for your own fucking sake. There we go.
Please
So,
do.
yeah, there we go.
I'm a cartoon on screen. You can't see a thing I'm doing.
I know. That's what
Her controller has the hand up though.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, there we go.
But I just gotta say, folks, Dickers is a lunatic. He is
Yes.
mental, and he's going to pay the price for that. Because
Mhm.
although Erica Kirk is forgiving the guy who murdered her husband, she is not going to forgive those who covered the situation in a negative light. Not going to forgive them at all. In fact, worse than that, she's going to sue those people into oblivion while the murderous political assassin gets life imprisonment without the possibility of reprieve.
I do have to.
They're going for the ending in Utah.
Oh, yeah.
The DA
well,
in Utah has already said we're going for the end.
Yeah, and what I was going to say on that, Ryan, is that a lot of people are sort of taking that "I forgive you" and sort of misconstruing it. You can forgive someone from an issue of Christianity, of religion, and still determine that basically forgiveness and judgment and justice are still two entirely separate avenues. So she can say, "I forgive you." That does not mean, oh, hey, we're going to let him out of prison and let him do a little dance and run off into the sunset with his cross-dressing boyfriend. That's not going to happen. That's not what that means. That just means from an aspect of my love for Jesus, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. Jesus forgives you. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to, if you know what I mean. It's not going to happen.
I was under the
worst-
impression that they were not seeking the death penalty, but I haven't looked into it.
DA came out a couple days ago and said he's like, no, we're going for the whole turkey. He's
Okay,
like,
that's
good riddance.
What I
look,
think,
it's perfectly fine. I mean, life imprisonment is just a very long delayed execution anyway. Best
that
to
just
do
be
it
using
quick.
up taxpayers' money just to keep that.
Yeah, and well, the
Pack of
problem
shit
is
alive.
he likes it in the behind, so it's not really punishment for him now, is it?
Roger, taxpayers' money should be used for infinity immigrants and for transsexual operations. Okay, it should. Black Lives Matter. How do you think Digny's channel is growing so quickly? Wakanda forever. Wakanda. There we go.
And
But
look,
I just find it insane that some of these leftist lunatics in the content creator space, like Dickers, like Destiny, like Hassan, are making these outrageous statements, especially after the assassination took place, because all it does is open themselves up to potential lawsuits, especially from an organization like Turning Point USA, who is rightly vengeful. And I know the Lord says vengeance is mine, folks. However, let's make an exception for a martyr, okay?
Well, here's the thing with Erica Kirk. If you've seen the clips, Charlie said in previous interviews before his untimely demise that Erica was more conservative than he was. Erica is now the acting CEO of Turning Point USA. This is now an organization that has now added over 72,000 new chapters since the passing of Charlie Kirk. The goal for Turning Point USA is to reach out to the youth movement. All right. That means, by the way, that the turning point you're getting is you're going to get a more conservative Gen Z, Gen Alpha come out of this with basically Erica Kirk at the helm, who now has an axe to grind, figuratively, not literally, because you murdered her husband and then danced on his grave afterward in unison. The entire culture of the left danced on his grave. And that's a woman who's not going to forget that. We covered it on my show that literally almost like 5 minutes after he was shot, there were people laughing on her Instagram saying, now your kids get to grow up without their father, and rejoicing in that. Just horrible, horrendous shit. And this woman is, they say it, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. What do you think Erica Kirk is when the entirety of the left has decided to drag not just her husband, but their children as well into this situation? They are going to have hell to pay, and Stephen King and Review Tech and all these guys, they're going to have lawsuits. They better be ready, because I think that she's going to fight any way she has to take these people down multiple notches. And Jimmy Kimmel was just the first casualty in that culture war, in my opinion. Because he also
I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this though, Jose. Right, when an institution is rotten to the core, right, it deserves to be smashed down. And I know conservatives and more right-wing types traditionally are not fans of smashing down institutions. You are, but we are the exception rather than the rule, Jose. But right-wingers and, also those who don't have a political affiliation need to realize that one of the reasons why the left is so effective is because they know how to batter down or infest institutions of power. Doesn't matter if Jimmy Kimmel gets his job back. I don't care how much cock he has to suck to climb the greasy pole. Likewise with Dickers, and especially Destiny, and maybe Hassan, for all I know, folks.
Hey, Digny, I have breaking news. It looks like Disney and ABC will be bringing Jimmy Kimmel back this Tuesday.
Yeah, I shared it
Excellent.
Sadly, not
Excellent.
surprising. Sadly, that's
Round
not
of
surprising
applause.
because
I look forward. I look forward to the massive viewership spike.
Imagine the ratings on that.
I look forward to his show literally leading the way. The left has their Charlie Kirk, except his neck didn't explode. Wink, wink.
I'd rather be
okay.
Yeah, I'd rather
Hooray.
be Colbert.
Didn't they say that they're only bringing him back if he actually makes a very, very public apology? So first step, if that's still the criteria, so his first show is going to be him probably on his knees and looking defeated, because I don't know.
Which Obama is he gonna suck?
No,
Well,
I bet you
Michael.
anything. His first show, the first thing he's going to start doing is bragging about how he got his show back. And then he's going to start bad mouthing the president and acting like he's fucking untouchable. I guarantee you
does
that's
that-
what his first show is going to be like.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if he immediately finds himself slapped down again because of this. And then he's going to try to act like he is some kind of martyr of the left, some sort of freedom beacon of the left if he does.
I'm going to call it right now. I don't think he apologizes.
No, he
I
won't.
think
Of course he
I think
won't.
I think
He
he makes a
won't.
snarky comment about about how MAGA tried to take him off the air and blah blah blah.
Yep.
Authoritarian bull crap about Donald Trump, and it's like, no, dude, it was actually the associates, and quite frankly, good, do it. I dare you to do it, because you think that these two companies, Netstar and Sinclair, are gonna back the hell down. No, they're gonna find a different thing to put in your slot, because they don't want none of your sloppy dribble that, quite frankly, three people who could rub a stick together aren't gonna watch.
Yeah,
Disney
I'm
has-
right.
I'll tell you this.
So
I'll
add
tell
to
you
what you
this.
said, his contract ends in 26 anyway.
I'll
Disney
tell you this,
has-
I do
though.
hope that
It rinse
Erica
the
Cook just
trash.
absolutely destroys them, just full on lawsuit mode. Everyone that thought they're untouchable, like Dickers, like Jimmy Kimmel, if what you're saying is true, if he does what you think it does, especially you rank, like, if he does that, and if Scooby is like he starts bad mouthing and then, like, if he does all the things that you said, I hope Erica does go and absolutely go scorched earth, because again, we're still talking about consequence culture, and people need, especially these kinds of people, need to relearn what true consequences are. These are people that have grown up thinking in one way or another and being told constantly, we are always right, we're untouchable, nobody's going to do anything to us, we can say and do whatever we like, we have the freedom, we have anything, and we don't have to suffer consequences from it. Well, I do hope I do sincerely hope that they're proven wrong in the most spectacular way, all of them. Because in my opinion, anything that has to deal with you celebrating someone's death like that, like someone like Charlie Cook's death, again, agree, disagree, he wanted to talk, he wanted to have a conversation. Doing something like that so publicly deserves all the consequences in the world.
Well, it's getting to a point where I think more and more people will understand this as time goes on. It's not the individuals who are the problem. It's the
Yes.
institutions that provide them the foundation. And once people, and hopefully Turning Point USA will lead the charge on this, once people realize that the problem isn't necessarily Dickers or Hassan or Destiny or Jimmy Kimmel, the problem is the mega corporations like Disney and ABC, whether it's political institutions like the education system or the, to use a long-winded term, military industrial complex, or the educational indoctrinational complex and things like that. Once people realize that it's the institutions that need battering down, not the individuals, then not just America, but the entire Western world could have the chance to have a great revival. And that's why we have a culture war, folks. The majority of people are supporting what we do. The only great advantage the opposition have is wide-scale institutional control at an administrative level, not on a representative level. They're literally in the government as administrators, and the only way to purge them is to do it from the top down rather than the bottom up. But for that, we need a capable president. We need a capable Congress. And we need loyalists leading the charge, rooting out these kinds of people. It'll be a Red Scare on steroids, though, and all the media will be shaking bit out of their colons because they'll know that they'll be gone, truly.
Well,
The
the good thing about this, and I'm just gonna say this real fast because I want Scooby to say her thing, is that they're rooting themselves out. They're literally showing themselves for being the vile, disgusting people. Because normal people who go to work from 9 to 5, normal Americans who could be center left, right? They don't like to be called. They don't like to hear that America's racist and homophobic and all these things. Like they go, dude, what? What are you talking about? Like I go to work. It's like you're labeling a broad description. And then when you assassinate somebody and saying, "Oh, he was full of hate," they're like, "Dude, who's this guy? Like, why was he killed? Because what of his opinions? Because he was talking to college kids?
Mhm.
Doesn't make any sense." But Scooby, go ahead.
What I was gonna say is Erica, I mean, she would probably, how should I put it? She's in a delicate position right now. Her kids were there, and because her kids were there, and because she's also his wife, she has to be careful with what she says and does, because once he was killed, there were threats made on his children. People wanted his children dead. People are still calling for his children to die. His children are still toddlers. What did they do wrong? And
Exist.
yeah, and nobody's standing up for them, but people like Jimmy Kimmel, Disney, stuff like that, they'll be like, yeah, go after her, and it's kind of like, what did she do wrong? She was there to support her husband. That was it. This guy, his main key was to get people to sit down and talk again. That was his main goal, nothing else. He wasn't there to push his rhetoric of sit down. I'm going to tell you why you should be on the side of the right, and nothing less. His idea was sit down, let's talk. Tell me what you think. I'll tell you what I think. He was a very good debater. And people don't seem to realize that. And they say, oh, he's really threatening. Okay, well, somebody who is threatening would not tell a 13-year-old who asks him, what should I do in the future? He would not tell a 13-year-old, be courageous and brave, which is what he did to a 13-year-old girl.
The fact is
Roger,
that
you were
every
gonna say something.
conversation is threat to them because it doesn't fall into their ideology. Roger, go ahead.
Well, I was going to just gonna say one thing that Scooby mentioned about people not saying anything about these people threatening his kids. I will say, yesterday when they did have his memorial down in Arizona, you did have like some of those protesters. Which, yeah, if you're protesting somebody's memorial service and all that stuff, yeah, you are a sick individual. But there was one particular video that did go around where like this woman was going, have like a big old sign talking about the stuff needs to be done to his kids and everything. You had like a swarm of people surrounding this person, literally yelling at her. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, yeah.
And that woman represents a fringe group of at least a couple of 100,000 Americans. Now imagine
Exactly.
imagine an armed leftist group, 10,000 strong, which is committed to annihilating the American system. Oh wait, you don't have to imagine it. They're the Socialist Rifle Association.
Mm-hmm. And these are the same people who claim Antifa is just an idea, when meanwhile you can go and you can look it up and you can find websites and you can see Antifa chapters that have a structured leadership organization that organize political protests. That's not just an idea. Sorry, that's a terrorist organization. And if you condone that, you're effed up with them. That's just how it goes. But these people, they don't want to accept any responsibility. They gaslight. They have a false equivalency. Look, these people think that this, and I probably shouldn't do this on YouTube, that makes me a fucking terrorist.
Yep.
All right. So everybody who Red Hat is a terrorist, but Antifa is just an idea. Get out of here with that bullshit.
No, don't worry, Jose. It's 5 minutes into a network video.
Imagine wearing a hat that literally says "Make our country great again." That is actually promoting the country that everyone lives in to be great.
Well,
you're a racist. You're a sexist. You're an abhorrent piece of filth.
Well,
I like.
The sad thing, Helzo, is that there are people who have been killed over this hat prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination, and because they're just everyman's normal day people, it never makes very far in the news. There was a guy in Seattle who got shot simply for wearing the hat, and after they shot him, there were people applauding. Then there's a young man, he was like 18, 19 years old. He's like 50-year-old neighbor. This is one of the Dakotas, I think South Dakota, maybe. Whichever one Nome wasn't governor of, ran his neighbor over for being a Trump supporter, and got like a slap on the wrist sentence. They let him out on bail and everything. You murdered a kid. You murdered a kid who had his whole life ahead of him, 19 years old. What? Because you didn't agree with him politically?
And that is the institutional rot that I'm talking about, folks. This is on every level, and the kind of actions needed to deal with this, I'm going to say it's un-American. The way to solve this problem, I'm sorry to say, is un-American. I know there's legislation in the U.S. that isn't acted upon that could solve a heck of a lot of problems. But when not half your country, let's say a third of your country, is infested with radicalism, a third of over 300 million people is more than enough to cause endless chaos in your country.
I believe, Digny, there's an actual stat somewhere that says something like if 10% of your country believes in violence, you're in trouble, essentially. Like there's going to be a problem.
We are in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Is that this is going to get worse before it gets better. And as somebody who was in the military, it's again, I'm going to preface this. It's not the firearm that hurts somebody. It's the person behind it and their warped nonsense that does it. I can climb a water tower with a rifle all day, all I want. Just walk up and down. And I could sit up there and I could literally just sit there with a rifle. Is the rifle going to hurt somebody? No, it's me. If I have something wrong inside here, that's going to hurt somebody. And that's what that kid did. He was so enveloped by this mindset that, quite frankly, Charlie Kirk was the devil, or their favorite thing, a Nazi. That, quite frankly, he thought he had to protect his transgender partner. Look, you want to have a transgender partner? I don't give a crap. I really don't. I mean, you do you. What happens behind closed doors, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else or impede on anybody else or hurt children, I don't give a shit. You want to stick a cucumber up your ass? You go nuts, bro.
Stickers.
Just saying.
Here's the thing about it that always Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The bad thing is that with the trans, especially with the trans people, the drugs that they're taking for these changes, and I can actually, I have a not a first, but I have seen. So I do know a person here in Bulgaria, one of the 5 people in the whole country that is trans. Who, yeah, we actually have these, even though I'm going to say something in a bit to Ryan to his Russian Putin stuff, but when you're a trans person, the amount of drugs that you're taking, they have been tested to be extreme psychedelics, extreme mentally altering drugs.
Psychotics.
Like,
Antipsychotics.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like psychedelic drugs, but not inducing those effects that you when you get, let's say, the true psychedelic, but they're mind altering and sensory. They're stripping away. One research, and I read that a couple of years ago, actually said that it's like stripping the protection of your nervous strands and just attacking them directly. Imagine that, and you're having these drugs being used for years, and that I'm talking about decades by some people. The trans person that I know, you'll never know that she's trans, and I'm saying that she because she did, like, this is the only time I'm going to actually perfectly respect something, because she went through the whole thing, operations, drugs, everything. She's been like this for 15 years, never looked back. But one thing that she told me once is that she has never felt so bad in her life one time. Like, and this is only because of the drugs. And when you have young people, when you have people in 15, 16, 17-year-olds who are, first of all, you're hitting puberty. You know what that is. Like, you know what puberty does to us mentally. It like to both men and women, it's absolutely messed up. And then you're introducing all of those drugs.
And hormones. So, like, you know, it's like steroids. You know, roid rage, or like when a woman's pregnant and her mood is jacked
you're
up.
Fundamentally rewriting your organism, what it gives you, and you're blocking the stuff that it was designed to give you, and you're replacing it with things that are artificial and that are fucking with your head. And you then go, because you're going through these changes, you go to a group or social media or stuff like that, the other people that are going through, you have more experienced people that are more fucked up in the head, and they start filling your head with ideologues and stuff like that, and you have 2 or 3 people that are actually spreading that they're all right, and then everybody on the other side is evil, and they need to be purged and stuff like that. It's actually, and I'm sorry to say this, but what happened to Charlie Kirk is something that is not surprising. Sadly to say, it's not surprising that it happened.
Yeah, I agree with you, Helzo. I think that if it wasn't Charlie, it was going to be somebody. It was going to be somebody.
Oh,
yeah, it was going to be somebody.
And he wasn't the first look. They almost killed Trump last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And this, and folks, just to let everyone know, that lady Helzo's talking about is going to be our next host for a network show, the 40K Empress, our first trans host.
No, that's not that. No, come on.
We are so progressive here at the network. For the first time, debuting in October, a transgender host, the 40K Empress.
It's out. The secret is out.
When is this stream gonna be? Because I'm sure you want me to show up.
October
Because quite
2nd.
frankly, you made a comment because she was in the chat last time that, like, you know.
Yeah, it'll be Thursday, October the 2nd, 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Eastern. We have to start an hour earlier because she has to go to the doctors after the show to get her tranny medicine. But we appreciate the 40K Empress as Helzo's getting licked by a black pussy. So on that note, ladies,
I gotta say,
what the hell?
Something.
Yes, Scooby Pup, finish off, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
Finish this off, yes.
Since Trump became president, I'm pretty sure, but a lot of people are aware of this. And this has to go with Discuss and Ryan saying that the people aren't exactly right in their head, especially Ryan. I've seen dozens of videos of people who are liberal, or they're trans, or they're gay, or they're lesbians, or whatever, arming up with one gun after another saying, get your arms ready. It's time to go to war. We need to take back our country. Others are showing videos of training saying, we got to get ready. We got to make sure that nobody takes us down. And just recently, there's been a video released of protesters and such training to take on ICE.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
like
they're going to get iced.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah,
a federal crime. You are engaging with federal officers.
Well, you're going to get a rude fucking awakening. I'm going to tell you that right now. As somebody who was in the military and trained as law enforcement, you're going to get a real rude awakening. And it leads to what I said literally a couple of days ago, that if you actually endanger somebody who's innocent or you hurt somebody that I love, I will double tap you and I won't think twice. And that means double tap to the chest. And if that doesn't work, you're going to get one to the head. That's how all military and law enforcement works, because it trains the same. You can spray and pray all you want. You better get good, fuckers. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you really want that,
I have to say to what Ryan said. What a lot of these people don't understand. All right, what a lot of them don't understand is that what they read in a Harry Potter book is not reality. All right, that's not the real world.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. Or they go with this thing like they go, knife wielding person shot. Why did the cop shoot him? Because don't you know? If you know, the person wielding the knife is even more dangerous than a person wielding a gun, because if you let them close that gap, you're in trouble. That's why, there it is.
The statistic is actually 10 feet. If a suspect with a gun is 10 feet from the officer, the suspect with a knife can actually clear that 10 feet faster than the officer can pull his gun and fire.
Exactly. And they don't understand things like that. They don't understand those parts of reality. So they think that this is like a giant episode of Star Wars or something where, we're fighting back against the Empire. No, there's a reason it's called, FAFO. Fuck around and find out. Because if you mess with law enforcement, you are going to get a rude awakening. These people have training beyond anything that your fantasy-addled, drug-addled leftist brains can cook up.
And
most
are former military.
Yes.
Speaking of drug-addled leftist lunatics, 2.3, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour, 12 minutes dead. There we go. 2.3. Should Destiny face arrest? Smash JT thinks so. All right, so Destiny is the super cuck lord who is a great fan of Nick Fuentes, especially his dick. His dickers, so to speak, as Helzo is showing off his black cat. And I just think it's very interesting that Smash JT wants to arrest a lot of people these days. Like, has a certain court case gotten you down, buddy? I don't blame you if it has. But first, you want to arrest Hassan. Okay, that's fine. Deport him. That would be better. But now you want to arrest Destiny. Look, getting blown off or blowing off Nick Fuentes is not a crime, buddy. As the gamer empress, the only trans woman in Bulgaria, raids the stream. Helzo told me, 40K Empress. He told me. And we appreciate...
I bear no responsibility to what he's saying.
No one does.
I'm a lefty here. I bear no responsibility.
I will point out, though, folks, that Smash JT did raise the question, should Destiny face arrest for all the things he has said? Courtesy of Helzo, which is courtesy of Aesthetica, quote, Destiny. This is an old clip, folks, but the internet is forever. That's why my mentor retired after Spears. It's hard to quote something when it's not up. Also, so keep it there just for now. Destiny talking about meticulously planning to murder with his friends and getting so close to going to his house and murdering him and his father. How is he not in prison for conspiracy to murder?
And you said this is an old clip, and he has only gone worse afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yes. This is before the blue hair.
Was this before
I
or
think
after?
This is before the cooking.
Yeah. Was this before or after his jaw fucked up? when he speaks, his jaw just.
Well, I guess Fuentes has a bigger one than we expect.
It's like Destiny's jaw was animated by the people who made Jason and the Argonauts. It's like, how many FPS is this jaw running? Also got the reference.
I gotta say, not only him, but also Hassan need to be arrested.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Scooby. Let's play this clip and then get people's reaction.
Before you play it, I do have to hop off. I did get that text I was telling you all about earlier before the stream started. So
Roger
I will
got
have
the
to
call,
head off.
folks. He's got the call. Bye for now, Roger. Good luck.
Yeah,
It's nice.
Where to
Yeah.
find you? Tell people where
Yeah.
to find you and go for it.
Yeah.
All right, you can all find me over on Country Time Pop over on X, YouTube, Rumble. I also got my own channel, Roger Hopkins CTP as well, where it'll be my own little personal streams, mainly like video game related. But yeah, it was good being here with you all. It's good to meet you, Ryan and Scooby.
Likewise.
All right,
It's always
but,
good to have you, man.
Also,
Yeah.
I don't think his Twitter was tagged. So if somebody could put it in the actual chat, because for the message, because I
Yeah.
thought Scooby and that was like it. That's the only person I wasn't following.
all right, but yeah, like I said, you all have a good rest of your stream, and thanks for having me.
Take it easy,
Have a
Roger.
good trip to Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv.
Are they gonna
Guys,
make
he
him
got
touch the
pulled.
wall? Is that what's going on here?
Why is he
No,
coming
no,
to see
he-
you there, Digny? Like, what are you talking about?
Look, man, this hat isn't hiding anything. Let's full screen this clip, Halzo, and then play this clip, and then let's get everyone's perspective.
I'm having furry technical issues, but yes, I managed to do that. Let's go.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's a guy. That's one of the people. Like, legitimately, like, I was so. You have no. Like, it's actually kind of scary. Like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. Or it would have been. It would have just been him and his father. I don't, because I didn't know anything about.
Wow.
Dude, that was some of the most fucked up shit in my entire life. I was so fucking close to doing it, but I was making so much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of. Oh my god. Oh my god, I was so close to this fucking address. I had fucking streets mapped out and fucking you have no fucking idea. That's when I first started getting interest in like owning a weapon. I got a permit to own a gun and everything. I did.
I think this is old, but at the same time, like, maybe you should have actually had that sentiment for the dude that was banging your wife like a ketchup bottle all around and dancing in the background while you're streaming, and you look like somebody took a puppy and your puppy and then shot it. Like, what's wrong with you, dude? But no, this is not the most egregious thing he's ever said. This is something he's done before, and
It's not.
quite frankly, it's not an arrestable offense yet. It is incitement of violence. It is something that is a credible threat because you are being very, very forthcoming of the possibility of conspiracy to commit murder. Usually conspiracy is reserved for, well, seen as a certain person who did something to Charlie Kirk. Hey, your trans girlfriend, dude? Oh, if you get convicted, she's going to be in trouble because you told her all about it and she didn't flinch. So that's kind of where that goes. But no, he's a vile person, and quite frankly, yes, investigate him. I support that 100%. And Hassan too, with we need to spill the red stuff of theirs in the streets. It's like, dude, you're a loser. What the hell is your problem?
You realize if any of us talked like that, we would be black bagged pretty much immediately.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You see, Jose, no spears were mentioned in that statement, so it was perfectly fine.
Well, I would have to say, you guys would. I wouldn't because I'm a female.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if that'll
Oh, yeah.
protect
you have more.
Yeah, but you're a biological one, so you gotta have some
Should
fake
be a
paperwork.
tier above.
How many followers does Destiny have or subscribers? Because I want to address the reality.
Hundreds of
Hundreds of
thousands at least
Yes.
on Twitch before he got deplatformed years ago.
Yeah.
He had
I mean, it's-
millions.
His
So-
kick account sports 126.2K in real time. I'm looking.
Those are 126,000 people. 10% of that, if 10% of that are his active watchers, like that go to his streams and stuff like that, those are 10,000 impressionable people that like what he does. like what he says, maybe get influenced by him. That's the danger of people like him and Hassan, because you have a lot of, like, when you're a and Scooby was very, very on point in an earlier topic of saying that young people, they don't watch TV, they watch YouTube, they watch streaming services, and actually more and more go and watch YouTube, Kick, Twitch, all the streaming services. They go and put on, or they join a game and play online with friends, all of that. But they're
And
communicating with other people. Yes, Scooby.
And what's funny though about the whole YouTube thing and watching YouTube is that Hollywood and news services, they're trying to make YouTube their new platform.
Yeah, exactly. They're
They're
trying
trying to unionize it.
mainstream YouTube. They're trying to do mainstream YouTube. That's why YouTube is implementing all those stuff lately as well.
Yes,
And
they're trying
is
to
messing with the
unionize.
algorithm and stuff like that.
I'm gonna put this on the record right here. If any of you guys unionize, I'm gonna kick you off this show. Kick you off all network shows. I'm gonna tell all my creative friends how you're trying to unionize, and we will blackball you worse than New Black Street.
They'll spear us. But the thing that I was trying, that was making a point is that young people are watching more and more people, and they are going to, and because YouTube recommends all the biggest creators, especially if you don't have an account. If you go and not have it, they're gonna recommend the most popular videos. They're gonna recommend the biggest creators and stuff like that. Then you're gonna try. Then you go start in the search bar. You're gonna go gaming videos, gaming streams, stuff like that. And again, the algorithm is automatically going to pop out the biggest gaming videos, the biggest gaming channels, and stuff like that. And when you have people like this, people like Hassan that have hundreds of thousands, millions of followers, and you're watching them, and it's almost subconscious because they're doing what they're doing and they're spewing this constantly, and it goes into your you find yourself, yeah, I agree with him, or like even if you don't, 5% of the people are enough to agree. Like if you have 1 million people like Hassan, 5% of the people are absolutely enough to later go and potentially make a lot of bad.
This runs very counter to what Charlie Kirk was doing. You know, Charlie Kirk was reaching the youth through Turning Point. They're reaching the youth through these vehicles like Twitch and YouTube and Kick and whatnot. And the problem with what they're saying is very simple. For those of you who are, pop culture fanatics, may remember the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And do you remember what the premise of the Foot Clan was? That Shredder, and to a lesser extent, the little Asian bald guy, Tatsu, next to him, were like, the Foot is your family now. We are your father. And so all these kids who are at home, or they have a
gang mentality.
Phone, yeah, exactly. They have a phone or a tablet. Their parents aren't paying attention to them, letting the machines raise them, which we do have that problem a lot in this country of a lot of parents that don't specifically want to be a father or a mother. They just want to let the machine raise their kids. The problem is, what is your kid consuming? If you're a good parent, you make sure they don't consume a lot of crap. You heard it from the Twitch CEO's mouth. We have to catch him young. That's what he and the Roblox CEO have in common.
He said 7, 8, or 9. That's
And
what he said. 7, 8, or 9. Like, are you serious, dude? Like, whoa.
Imagine a 7, 8, or 9-year-old listening to Hassan saying what he said, listening to Destiny say what he said. And it normalizes this belief that if somebody disagrees with you, you are within your rights to end their life. This is something I was worried about some 20 years ago when Obama started pushing the anti-bullying mandates. And I said, look, nobody wants, people to be bullied, but they need to understand that they've changed the definition from somebody actively putting their hands on you to somebody simply disagreeing with you. And I said, we're going to have a big problem when these kids grow up into adults and they don't understand how to have discourse anymore because they've been led to believe that anything that runs contrary to what they believe is bullying them in some capacity. And here we are, because those people are already having children. And now the problem is getting worse. And now you have, more extreme rhetoric. You have Destiny. You have Hassan. Oh, hey, let's end somebody who doesn't agree with you. You have to drag them out into the street. What's going to happen? This is absolutely escalation. Now, what do you do with that? I think that if you can tie Hassan's words to actions, I think if you could tie Destiny's words to actions, then you have a problem where, they were fine taking away Alex Jones's platform. I think that if we can't, put them behind bars, as complicit in it, we should at least not be platforming them because they are fine deplatforming the hell out of us. They've done it on all of these platforms repeatedly for a hell of a lot less than what Destiny or Hassan are saying.
Very much
Exactly. And thank you to Roadkill for the $1.99, because Elzo is shirking his duties, looking after his wife and his cats. Thank you to Helzo for giving me co-host capabilities, and thank you to Roadkill for $1.99, saying, "I bought some flowers for Legion because I'm a raging homosexual."
I'll take the flowers.
No, they're
Not
mine.
for you, Scooby. Roadkill is trying to turn Legion.
Look, I may not be gay, but you know what? I support homosexuality and their love of me. So you know what? Bring it the fuck on. If you're a homo and you like me, I'm support that.
Well, Ryan, that makes
Especially if you're rich.
Elzo.
Legion,
Hello.
what if I take the flowers and then I just give them to you as a friendship offering?
I mean, that's fine. Okay, let's split them.
works.
Let's
That
split
works.
them.
Friendships.
All right, that's cool.
I mean, because Roadkill probably needs probably needs a beard or something, like, because he's been over the top lately, and it's
Well, thank you. Thank you again to Legion. This is great because I can write all this stuff
There
down.
he goes. There you go.
And then ask Helzo for a donation at the end of the month. For Scooby, flower, 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 flower. Salute the American way, not the German way. That's
Thank you, Roadkill. Thank you very much.
just furiously write that down. Write that
True.
down. All right, folks. I'm just checking the time because we do have 5 topics for today's show, not 4. So I'm just having a look. We could move on to the next topic, or we could
Do it.
continue to focus on should Destiny face arrest. I think what Jose mentioned about the Twitch CEO and the Roblox CEO, get them young, get the 7-year-olds, the 8-year-olds, the 9-year-olds. These guys were clearly educated by Jimmy Savile, okay? Get them young, you get them for life. And
Yeah.
that's why many companies in the zeitgeist want to target younger people, because they want customers for life. There's a reason the education system targets younger people. Well, namely because they are the majority of people in educational institutions. Because get them young, get them indoctrinated, and get them into the institutions, right? Get them to say Black Lives Matter. Get them to say trans rights are human rights. Get them to say, tip me 25% because my employer won't give me a proper wage. Give me a 30% income tax, but that's not strong enough. We need a 50% income tax because corporations are bad. That sort of thing.
There's a lot more to it too. I mean, we can go right down into the medications like Helzo was talking about. It's not just trans kids that are being medicated. In this day and age, if your kid gets in a fight, the school is going to recommend that they're all put on some sort of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication. Look, when I was growing up, if I got in a fight, I got in a fight. That was it. It was like, they would tell my parents and send me home from school and tell your kid not to do it again. All right. But we took that away. And I hate to say it like this because it sounds like violent and caveman like, but we took away society where if you say something stupid, you got popped in the mouth growing up. And you learn a little bit of respect from that. You learn a little bit of humility from that. The best friends I grew up with were people who punched me in the face and I punched them in the face because, look, we got in a fight over Street Fighter 2. Guy cheesed me with Chun-Li and and I punched him in the face. He hit me upside the head with a brick. By the way, he was exactly the ethnicity which you are all thinking, but that's besides the point.
I was red.
It goes back to the old Bill Burr joke when he was actually funny. He's like, you know what? He's like, I was out there, I got a little drunk. I was running my mouth and I got punched in the face. And then he's like, you know what? Going home, he's like the next day, he's like, you know what? Maybe I was being a little bit of a dick back there. Yeah, dude. It's like, that's why he got punched in the nose. It's like, I don't advocate for violence against anybody, but quite frankly, there are certain boundaries. But now it's like, well, you misgendered me. You insulted my. You didn't represent me. You didn't
Yeah.
adhere to me. And it's like now it's the whole thing. Words are violence or silence is violence is horse shit. Violence is violence. If somebody tries to punch you in the nose, you duck and you swing and you knock them to the ground. Like, guess what? Sorry, dude, you swung
Yep.
first. I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. I was raised on if someone puts their hands on you, you hit them back 3 times as hard, or you're going to get hit if you come home and let them make a fool out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was drunk one time. You know what? He took a swing at me. You know what I did? I put him in a headlock, threw him to the ground. I wrestled him to the ground. I was like, "Are you done?" And we wrestled around for like 10 seconds. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm done." And I'm like, "Okay, you were drunk. What are we doing?"
Yeah, but that's part of actually sometimes normal stuff that happen and should happen in life. Do you know, by the way, why wokeness never those things, trans and the words hurt, never actually progressed in Eastern Europe? It's gonna
Because
sound
you guys
very
because
busy
there's real
killing
violence
each
now?
other in the 90s.
well, that too, but also we're too poor for that.
That's fair.
Jordan Peterson was having a tour of Eastern Europe of his like
Was
not
that
show but
before-
his lectures.
Was that before Helza? Was that before or after his overdose on prescription medicine?
I think it
Oh,
was
he got
actually
put
a
on
little bit
benzos.
afterwards, a little bit after, a
right.
little bit his, and then he made an interview and said, "Do you know why the notion of woke never prospered in this university? Because I saw those people there. They've been oppressed for what they can say for 45 years, and now they're alert. They're too poor to care about that, and they're too poor to deal with something as made up as this. They have real issues. They're fighting for survival and to actually build a stable life there. They don't have time for these made up things. And I can tell you, here you do have some that are trying to do that progressive, ultra progressive idea the American way, and they're like silent voices that nobody even hears, and that's it never even took any root here. But that's because that the whole notion of that, those snowflakes, that actually that's the thing that we don't call them anymore, those snowflakes that they just crack under the slightest pressure of their bubble. They cannot comprehend reality, and they have never been in a situation where actually everything that they do needs to be part of their survival. They need to actually own up to their actions and words. They have always been so catered to, and that's infuriating because these are weak people. When you think about it, they will not survive a real situation.
But come on, Helzo. People say in your country, Bulgaria, have real problems. I mean, in Bulgaria, you can't even get clean water. I mean, the water is like brown out of the taps, right?
Yep.
Unlike, say, for example, in America, places like Flint, Michigan have the cleanest water.
Hey,
We have
world,
places
man.
like Flint, Michigan, in the capital right now.
You can be, folks, you can be woke if you have no real problems. And a real problem is brown water. Okay, that's why America is woke, because nowhere in America
it's the
is your
luxury.
water brown.
It's the luxury of it.
Real problem is have a $300 pension per month as a 68-year-old grandma, while also having to pay $2 for a bread.
And that's it. These people don't have bills. They don't have responsibilities. They don't have to take care of a parent or take care of a loved one who is sick or anything like that. They have no responsibility in life. So they have the luxury of sitting around thinking that the stories in the Harry Potter book are real. Oh, excuse me, they did. And then when J.K. Rowling went against them on one topic, they started burning said books. This is how diluted with reality these people are. And frankly, it's long overdue to try to set the course correction back. Otherwise, you're going to get more people like Destiny, more people like Hassan Piker. They are trying to raise the next generation of people much like themselves. And by the way, it's because of the fact that, look, you think Destiny, theoretically would do what that guy did to Charlie Kirk himself? No. But if he can talk to someone who's not there in the head and convince them to do it, he doesn't have to feel very bad about it now, does he?
No, he won't have the moral capacity to do it.
I know how to end wokeness. Bread lines, power cuts, rationing,
brown water, trying
brown
to
water,
survive. Yeah. Look, what I said about my country is partly true. Like we are better than we were in the 90s. But let me tell you one thing: people here, like when I've talked with my father about that, I've talked with younger people about that, and there are people that basically are like Shun Head, what that we mentioned earlier. They like some of the stuff, the more sensible old school stuff, but don't like anything that is currently being propagated and being preached by the woke left. Nothing. I actually have a French colleague and she's very, very like left in that regard. And she was
Most
like,
French people are, if they're not
Mm.
far right.
she's 25 and she said, what happened to Charlie Kirk and those psychos over there that are celebrating it? I don't like, she said, I don't like Charlie Kirk, like what his opinions, I love his opinions, but I would never be happy for something like that. Never. That is
No.
just psychotic behavior.
When Joe Biden got elected in 2020, like, and he got sworn in, I'm like, you guys just elected an old man who needs to be probably in a retirement home to the most stressful job on the planet by far. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is elder abuse, and anybody who supports that, you are supporting elder abuse. I got called names by friends on Facebook that I've known for a long time. They're like, you're just mad and you're just a racist, and I'm like going, no, maybe I just don't want to see a doddering old man turn into a worse version of himself. Like maybe that, because I'm like, Obama came in looking young and spry, and I voted for him the first time, first election I ever voted in. That was a mistake. And quite frankly, he left looking like an old man.
Oh yeah,
Joe Biden left.
8 years and he looked like a mummy.
Biden in 4
I-
years looked like a poltergeist by the time he left.
Yeah.
I want a dementia patient to have access to nuclear weapons because I want to win.
We all do. Yeah, absolutely.
We almost did
Look,
have
look,
one
look,
because I'm
look,
sure that
look,
Kamal's
the
got some form of
nihilist-
early onset.
The nihilist part of me actually agrees with Digny. Like, just there's okay. I'll be honest with you. There are certain times in a week or a month when the bad news just keep happening and happening and happening, and at a certain point you're like, yeah, go for it. Just go for it. Just press all the buttons. Be the DD from Dexter's Laboratory. Press all the buttons.
I mean, I don't know if I want I don't know if I want none of that, but I just want to say shout out to the far left weirdos who support this whole manual transmission of the kids and crap like that. Hey, you know what? Shout out to the Mr. Mustache Man and his youth that actually were in Argentina, in Brazil, in Germany, and like how many other countries around the world because he used them as cannon fodder at the end of the war. Shout out to that. And actually, quite frankly, even after the war ended, there's actually evidence that those youth in the South American countries continued on after supposedly World War II was over. How many different examples do you people, and literally, no, I don't mean you people. I mean you people who are so brainwashed need to stop and go, you know what? We're not living on the right side of history. We're actually the bad guys. You're the bad guys.
Come on, Ryan, they'll learn. They will learn. The moment they will learn is when the world dies by nuclear fire. Now, we like to keep these
I
shows
want to
about...
live in that one.
Well, it's their paradise. Talk about utopia. It'll be a utopia for the cockroaches. We like to keep the show at around 2 hours for Helzo's mental health because he lives in Bulgaria and he needs to sleep.
That's a lot. Like, yeah, I don't have that. I didn't have the money to buy it, so yeah.
But we got two more topics, and I can cut a topic into two, so technically we have four more topics. 2.4 I find kind of funny because there's this other. I've put my microphone further away so I can write this down because I'll write down 1 hour. No, I pressed the wrong one. Black pen work. 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 50 seconds. 2.4 is, and guess who the creator is? This cartoon creator smashes the Borderlands for narrative because I'm a big fan of fellow cartoon creators, and especially the guy who makes This Female Gamer videos. So I thought, in his honor, I would make a video called "This Cartoon Creator Smashes the Borderlands 4 Narrative." And what cartoon creator is that? It is the one, the only Hypnotic.
Oh, this is gonna break algorithmic records for you, Digny.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, Hypnotic. This cartoon creator. No, it's not Synth Potato, but Synth Potato
I
is
know.
our X source for this.
Yes,
For this
I'm
topic.
linking the I'm doing the source because that's
all right.
where it
It's
happened.
all right, but this is courtesy of Synth Potato, who is also a cartoon creator. This cartoon creator exposes Borderlands 4 performance issues and other titles that will get algorithmic sense.
There you go.
Because we got to climb that greasy pole, whether it's by our hands or by our ass. Quote, Digital Foundry has confirmed Borderlands 4's performance degrades over time on all consoles. It drops start after 30 minutes and reach as low as 720p, 35 FPS after 1 hour, also known as the resolution I play games at. Absolutely unacceptable that this was allowed to launch like this. Randy says restarting fixes it, so it's fine. Well, I think the future of gaming should be led by Randy Pitchford, and his first act should be to buy the makers of Expedition 33,
Oh no.
Fuck
Sandfall
it
Interactive, and give them a Borderlands change.
This is exactly what's happening with. This is the biggest argument against modern AAA gaming, in my opinion. We, especially 2025, and I do like to repeat myself on it. We have seen what happens when you have passion. We had forgotten that in the last 10 years or so. What happens when you have passion and you have 5 people operating under you? We have seen this with Silk Song, Schedule 1, Expedition 30. Having an established game from an established franchise that already has trouble up ahead from its own sources and its own house, and launching like that, unfinished probably, or just unbalanced as hell, and doing what most, if not all, AAA studios go. We're gonna finish it after launch. You buy the game now. We're going to release it earlier for you so you can enjoy the broken, buggy mess more faster than ever. Instead of just fixing it, and instead of using the money that they poured into it, that I don't even want to think how much money went into that game, to actually make a workable game from day one. I don't remember. And many, if any of you remembers, I don't remember any AAA game that works day one without any issue, and I don't remember probably since the last decade of any AAA game that has worked day one. It doesn't have any major bugs. It had an update, like say a week later, to do some balancing issues, and it was actually okay. Were there any games like that in the last decade?
Come on, Helzo. I want my 5th remake of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, I physically feel pain that exists.
I say that, folks, after putting my fan on, and now my script is now on the floor, so I'm going to have to turn around and get it very gingerly, and hopefully we can eradicate any subversives in our chat. Mods, do your job.
You know
Come
what's
on. I'd let Scooby Pup do it, but she's a bit gun-ho sometimes.
Yeah,
Wink,
look,
wink.
you know what
No,
the worst.
I only do it when necessary now. That was a one-time thing.
Oh, you know what the problem with this is? This is what they want you to spend $70 on. Spend money, buy the slop, peasant. By the way, I'm the developer that basically verbally filleted Anita Sarkeesian the entire time Gamergate was going on. Buy my slop, buy my slop, buy my slop. $70 for a game that runs like crap because you don't want to do just the basic product testing before you put the game out. And it is a big franchise name. Whether we like it or not, Borderlands is now a bit more of a household name in terms of gaming. And you couldn't at least make sure that this works properly, that it doesn't have these memory leaks, which, by the way, if the performance degrades on the console and the console or your PC is straining to play this, what kind of damage do you think long-term that's doing to your internal mechanics of your device? All right, because when you put your electronics through strain, you're lowering the lifespan of those said electronics. Here's Randy Pitchford. Do you think he's going to buy you another PS5? You think he's going to buy you another Xbox Series X or a new PC? No, he's going to laugh all the way to the bank. He thinks if he just throws a few shift codes out at you, it'll all be okay. Here's something. Make your fucking game work when people buy it. It's a very novel concept. If I buy product, I expect product to work. That's it. That's the deal.
Whoa, and now you're asking for a lot from these companies, right? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Let's be honest.
Jose, you should be bowing to Square Enix when they make another remake. When Final Fantasy 17 comes out and Square, along with the dead corpse of Enix, try their best to learn from Expedition 33, you're going to have to bow to them because they made some modicum.
You give them too much credit. They're not giving us Final Fantasy 17. They're going to remake Final Fantasy 10 because it was the closest one to Clair Obscur that existed. They're just going to keep shilling for the games that already exist. But they will make sure that this time they get it right, Digny. Waka will be an avowed anti-racist instead of a racist.
But it's too late. You can't pull a Dead Space remake like EA to counter Callisto Protocol, okay? It's too late for that now.
But will they sell it to us one disc at a time for about 10 years for 3 discs?
Yes. Yes, that's what they're going to do. Well, I really think that these performance issues are a testament to the fact that almost all the memory in Borderlands 4 is purpose-built to mine all your data so they can get all your information from your console so they can sell it to the highest bit. That's why it's degrading. It's not a game. It's a fraudulent system disguised as a game.
It's mining crypto.
As far as I'm concerned, I see Borderlands 4 as it is. The game itself is a performance issue. It shouldn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly.
Borderlands 3 should not exist, and neither should 4. They should have stopped.
I agree. I like Borderlands 2.
Same.
And these cartoon creators like Hypnotic and Synth Potato and the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman and Scooby Pup, fuck all you meat bags. We cartoon creators will lead the way to make pop culture great again. Get on the train, become a cartoon. These cartoon gamers expose.
Digny created a new slur. He created a new slur for content creators that don't use VTube avatars. I believe.
Don't call me a clanker. You're just a wanker.
I believe Megatron calls us flesh creatures.
Yes, flesh creatures.
I
But
do
Digny,
have
you
a VTube
could
avatar.
say that you're making a cartoon network.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Because the original
Oh,
one
dear.
is shit now.
No.
Mhm. I do have a
But I-
VTuber avatar. Yes.
What?
It
Ooh.
looks
Tell
much
us about
different than this one.
Well, I don't want to be weird, but the chat would probably really like that because that's kind of the thing that well, pull people
Well,
in.
you could be like Mama Rocco, except you're not a man pretending to be a woman.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't understand that. Why you would be a man and be like,
Hey, Ryan. What's wrong with an Italian middle-aged guy dressing up as a black, sexy woman for views?
where the fuck do you want to start? I mean,
Let's start with that tiny cat. Hello,
Hello, cat's butt.
oh, it's a kitty.
Oh, there's the butthole. There's the butthole.
Hello.
Why is
Sexually
that the
gratifying
first thing you
content.
called out, you weirdo?
Oh look, sexually gratifying content. Don't worry, we'll give
it-
the show to Furious Dan if
Leave it to the guy from a
gets
third world
wiped out.
country to look at the cat's butthole. And then he's like, wait, he's like,
If
you
you
know what?
have
I can
had-
actually I could actually put it on a spit through there and roast it and eat it.
If you-
Yes.
Hey,
Well,
that's
yes,
not
that-
Puerto Rico. That's Haiti. That's Haiti.
I think
Oh,
you might need
sorry,
to.
my-
If you have
You might
had
need to blur that
if you
part
had the
out.
amount of cat butts that were in your face during a stream or doing a video, and you would also focus on that, because I have 4 cats and I have received my Rikishi signature move a lot of times.
The stink face, dude. You like
Yeah,
wrestling?
How old is
I
it?
did up until a certain
Well,
point,
I
and
mean,
I do know the stick face.
Old school wrestling, like
Yeah.
the Attitude Era. Yeah, Rikishi.
When I was still young, and I was like, okay, how do you survive falling from a 10-foot cage onto a table with a bucket and you're slamming it against someone's head and you live to tell about it? And they were telling me it's fake, and I was like 6 years old, and I was like, no, that cannot be fake. I see
no,
that they're doing
recently.
stuff that they
Did you-
should not be able to do.
Did anybody watch like the recent, like I don't know, past 5-6 years where they have a guy from Belarus named Rusev and they just made him Russian? They're like, fuck it, no one knows where it is. We're just gonna make him Russian.
Wait, Rusev? That's
Yeah,
wait.
Yeah, and then they
Wait.
made him Bulgarian because he's actually
Yeah.
from
He's
He's
Bulgaria.
actually
Yeah,
Bulgarian.
Bulgaria,
He's
rather.
actually
Yeah,
a Bulgarian.
Bulgaria.
Yeah,
yeah.
he was
Yeah.
Russian first.
Yeah, they turned him Russian and gave him a Vladimir Putin on the Titantron for like
Yep.
3 years because they didn't think being
Well,
from
and then-
Bulgaria would get him heat.
His actual real world wife, Lana. She's that they actually hitched that to it. No, that's.
Oh
not-
yeah,
not-
say that
not-
name backwards. I'm just saying.
I was
Yeah,
just thinking that.
She's
It
an
just goes to
interesting
show,
person.
though, folks, how strong a narrative can be to drive something forward. Because we can dogpile on Randy Pitchford all day long, man. From his game performance issues to the fact that he says, "I remember paying $80 for a game when I was 50 in 1980," and all that sort of thing.
Mhm.
We can also talk about how wrestling used to be cool, and it just isn't with a steroid abuser at the helm. Isn't that right, Triple A?
Oh, he's definitely on
That's you
steroids,
than Tony
absolutely.
Khan, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't mind, by the way, paying $80 for a video game if the price goes with the quality.
That's
Exactly.
because you're the wealthiest man in Bulgaria, Helzo.
Mhm.
Pretty much, yes.
Literally, thanks
That's why I
to
live
this
next to a
network
bomb
show,
shelter.
you became. Thanks to this network show, guys, Helzo became one of the most super chatted channels in Bulgaria.
Behind Rusev, he's like the second richest.
Oh, he's too. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, like $80 games, it's something that we need to up the quality for. And Borderlands, this is the topic,
Mhm.
is certainly not that. Especially when you compare it to the other entries this year. I mean, come on. Silk Song, Expedition 33, even, and that's a game that I played extensively. Tainted Grail. It had its issues, but it was $50, like even less, and it was amazing. It was extensive. I played maybe half the game because I was too focused on finishing it. It has at least 50 more hours of content,
Yeah.
and $80. Yeah, I know. I understand what the company, like some company representatives, go and say. Well, it's inflation. Prices are changing. People are. It's a different time now. Yeah, cool. However, with your inflation and everything else, the people's money that they receive is not being risen. Like they're
Hellsbro.
not in inflation. They're in deflation.
Helzo, I'd rather play Avowed than Borderlands.
Oh,
Okay,
Ow.
and the only reason I would play
Well,
Avowed,
that's an insult if I ever heard one.
I would play Avowed over Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 4 because Garrus Vakarian is a green alien in Avowed. That's all.
I've
That's all.
heard people say that's why. I mean, I was worried you're going down the pipeline. I'm worried that you went down the Dustborn to Forspoken pipeline.
No, it's crazy. I'm Garrus Vakarian, and somehow I'm in this fucking hellhole of a game.
We should all play Relooted
Oh boy!
and
boy.
double the
Things
numbers
I
that
do-
they have on Steam.
Look, I'm a voice actor. I need money. Look, Xbox, they may not make good games anymore, but damn, they've got lots of money. let's go and be this character, this okay green alien looking motherfucker, and let my Garrus Vicarian voice, which is actually my real voice because I'm one of those actors who just uses the same voice for every role and gets remembered for his best appearance. I'm Garrus Vicarian, and I'm in this fucked up universe. Thank you to Sardoc Spamfish for £5, saying $80 because the CEO needs his second yacht and fifth house.
Mm-hmm.
So known as a
Absolutely.
Democrat politician. Duh. Stop effing around
Roadkill,
and pay up.
you
I will
sack
tell
of
you
ass.
guys.
Absolutely.
Roadkill.
Okay, sorry.
No, Roadkill, you sack of ass. Did you really delete Kelly's comment? She was lurking and watching me play a video game earlier, and she commented on that. You're such a douche.
Oh boy. I was gonna say, the one thing that I
I
always
wonder you took so much dick in the Navy.
Oh, shots fired. That's a lot of damage.
Ryan. Roadkill loves his family as much as my mentor loves black people. Okay?
Woo!
Thank you to Slay Every Game for $2, saying CCD, whatever the fuck that is, new season trailer premieres after the show. And CCD is actually Slay's thing. So sorry to burst everyone's bubble. I'm like, who the fuck's this guy? I passed him in subs. Go fuck yourself. Ugh.
I was gonna say though, guys, one thing that I always recommend people is that a lot of people forget you don't really have to buy an $80 game period or a $70 game or whatever. You can simply go look at your shelf or look at your Steam catalog, whatever, and probably find about 10 or 20 games that you didn't finish. And you remember when your mom used to tell you to finish all the food because there's people starving in Africa or whatever analogy she used? Well, it's the same thing with games. You don't have to buy the slop. You can literally just play your backlogs, ignore the entire gaming industry, let it collapse, and maybe by the time you're done with those 10 or 20 games that you haven't finished, in some cases 100 or 200, by that time, maybe the games industry will have learned their lesson. Maybe. That's a big maybe.
That's a
Here's some
highly
games
maybe.
Here's some games you should play. Halo Reach, Halo,
Yep.
Halo 2,
Yep.
Halo 3,
Yep.
the other Halo 3, and maybe Halo 4. So check out the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Yep.
The best thing 343/Halo Studios has ever created. Why? Because most of it isn't there.
Just know you have to buy it on Steam and then you have to log into another account. It's really a pain in the ass. Just
Yeah.
FYI. It's kind of
Also
like the
go and
Mass
research
Effect
indie
Legendary
games.
Edition 2 on Steam. It's so retarded. God, I hate that crap. That they do that with video games. Like, dude, I bought the game. Give me the game. I don't want to subscribe to your dumbass like logging crap. What are you doing?
The worst thing about the Master Chief Collection is that I thought I installed it all. I finished Halo Reach, and then I go to play the actual first Halo game, and it's like, you have not installed this. You must install. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I have to wait an hour to install it. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to play it, complete it, move on to the next one, and install that. Because
Remember when you only had to input the disc and you play the game? Pepper
Yes.
Rich Farm remembers. That was
Yes.
a good time. I would
Pepperidge
always
Farm
say to
also-
research indie games. Research indie games. Be careful. Some of them are infected with sweet babies, but research indie games. A lot of them, if not 99% of them, are made by passionate people, and they are made with the intent of giving you what? Entertainment and escapism, and not just
play
subscribe
every
very much.
just play every Xbox game before late 2013, and I think you will enjoy
There it
most of that library. And play every PlayStation game before the PS5 existed,
PS3
and every
doesn't do
Nintendo
anything.
game since the GameCube, because fuck Wii U, fuck Switch 2. Not buying a kid's toy as a games console.
Also, the PlayStation
buying
3
a
is
gimmick.
bag of ass. Who cares?
Okay, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, because we are quite near the 2-hour mark, We do have a fifth topic, but it was connected to our second topic. Look, if you guys want to extend the show another half an hour, Digny would appreciate making an extra 2 videos for his channel so that he can keep on going and keep on growing. But the choice is entirely up to you all.
I would love to touch on our fifth topic, and especially with the video that is connected to it.
I'm still
If you guys are
I'm in.
okay, I am completely okay.
I would call for a vote, but I don't believe in democracy. 2.5,
You
ladies.
fascist!
Thank you.
No, he's lefty.
2.5 is 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. And 2.5 is the, what was it again? Oh, yes. The stadium tribute of Charlie Kirk, explored as Erica forgives the murderer. Now, I did find this very interesting, folks, because the president was there. I think the vice president there as well, and many other speakers were there. And you folks, a big sign that this was a big event was not how big it was. It was the fact that the president and the vice president of the United States were in the same building. Usually that's a big no-no for security reasons. And, you know, Charlie Kirk, what happened to Charlie Kirk was a big security issue, okay, folks? So for the president and vice president of the United States to be in the same building is a massive security risk for obvious reasons. But it just goes to show how much Charlie impacted the lives of so many people, moving the discourse into a brighter space. That all these great people, all these prominent people, gathered in the main stadium, and they nearly filled up an overflow stadium, which was watching the event. That's how much this guy touched people's lives, given the fact that he was murdered in a political assassination at the age of 31 before his time. So, courtesy of Vigilant Fox, quote, the emotional climax of the Charlie Kirk Memorial came when President Trump asked Erica Kirk to join him on stage. The audience roared as America the Beautiful played throughout the stadium. The president embraced Erica as she wept for her late husband. It was an incredibly sad but beautiful ending. And it's a 70-second clip. Hopefully you enjoy it. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
No burning cities anywhere, by the way.
No.
And this is
Only people gathered
transformative
in
content
remembrance.
because we are saying
Yeah.
Good luck. God
Yes.
be with you. Thank you.
And this is
If
This
this
is
was the other
historic.
way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this was the other
God
way
bless
around,
the president and his newest wife, J.K. Law. Lol, it's not. Look, I know.
No,
don't
no,
make
we can
light
actually
of
make jokes around here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not- we don't have a stick shows.
yeah, and we wouldn't burn cities. It wouldn't burn cities for that.
Look, if
as
you want
what
to, if
happened
you want to
with
make a joke
America.
about Trump, right? That would have been the best time to have actually made a joke. Play that clip and say, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, the new wife of President Donald Trump, Erica Kirk, was on stage."
Yeah, Melania's out or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
that would actually be somewhat funny, but these losers who are spurging out about it again, it's the same fucking comments on Twitter. Oh my God, did you see the fascist rally? Did you see the Nazi rally? And it's like they put a side by side of an actual Nazi rally and this, and it's like, Are you high? Are you? What the hell is wrong with you?
Well, for one thing, Ryan, the Nazi rally was in black and white. This was in full color.
That's true.
Number two, there wasn't enough red, white, and black in the rally for it to be a Nazi rally. Of course, I disagree with Nazi rallies. You shouldn't have black anywhere near red and white. It should be red, white, blue, not red, white, black. Okay.
There weren't really a whole lot of black people in Germany then, so it wasn't a problem.
Look at my black background. That was what I.
You okay?
Just your black
Oh
ground?
no, the program's failing.
Having fun with
Mentor,
that?
help me
Error,
reprogram me,
error,
mentor. It's
error,
like
error.
I just
Okay,
figured you were
red,
having
white-
a stroke.
It's a red, white,
AI
and
stroke.
blue.
The amount of
Background.
protest that
I can never say background properly anymore. It's always blackground for some reason. But it's always red, red, white, and blue, folks. All right. If you want to be at a Nazi rally, it's red, white, and black. My mentor taught me a lot about these things. The more you know, the better. I think it was a fantastic tribute to a great man, and it just goes to show that his sacrifice, Charlie Kirk's sacrifice, will not be in vain. Not
and
at
all of those who tried to do otherwise can go straight to hell. Like people during vigils, like there's one person that took their truck and drove right through a vigil, hurting a lot of people. And what happened? They got pulled out of the truck and the crap got beaten out of them.
At a certain point, I saw that clip, Scooby, and at a certain point, okay, let's just start with what we just saw in the clip. And I mentioned it during the clip. There were no burning cities. There were no people just annihilating every sort of infrastructure, attacking everyone. Because probably it's because they were actually respecting a very sensible and a very respected member of the human community, if nothing else, and not a fentanyl overdose person who just had trouble breathing. And that just goes to show where the sensible people are. I mean, you might think left, right, center, middle, upwards, downwards. You see where sensible people are, and that's just the thing. You see that they're just gathered there. They are paying their respects like they did in the previous days. No apocalyptic events happened in the US, like half a state burning with Kirk Lives Matter or something like that. We saw that people were just trying to pay respect to a great person. And what Scooby said with that truck person, he was opposed to that. He wanted the violence. He wanted to incite more violence. He wanted to do more damage and to just incite people for violence. And at a certain point, what happened to him, getting his face caved in the pavement, I think that is a very, very good consequence response, because at a certain point, you just gonna have to stop turning the other cheek and being civil. And the time of civility, in my opinion, is pretty much over, even though people are still being civil about not going full on. Let's get rid of the whole problem in a one big fell swoop, because they can. Because if people that are like remembering Charlie Kirk did what people when George Floyd happened, if they do the same thing, I would be up on a mountain in the Balkans and I will be watching the fireworks from 20 miles away, 20,000 miles away. I'll be able to roast marshmallows up far in that mountain from all the scorching that it will happen. And yeah, you would eradicate the problem whatsoever, but that's not the way. And sensible people realize that actually human lives, no matter how deplorable are, do matter, and they don't want to stoop to that low level as the one who assassinated Charlie Kirk.
Hellzo, Yellowstone ain't blowing up anytime soon.
Can I share something real quick to actually piggyback off that? It's something that's on Twitter. It's very safe. Trust me, it's already been on multiple streams. I just want to share this because it is very inspiring, and it shows the drastic difference. It's this. I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
I've seen the picture of it.
Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer. Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith.
And please go follow this guy, XERIAS_X, because I retweeted this and I followed him and he actually gave me a like and a retweet. And dude he did that all on his own, and that's what this means. That's what we do. We don't go out there and we don't hurt other people. We stand together and we inspire to be better. That's what we do.
Exactly. And I do think, on the same token, if somebody does try to put hands on us, defend ourselves, but on the same token, we're not out there actively trying to hurt anybody physically. We're not trying to. You don't see us taking shots at Kimmel. You don't see us taking shots at Destiny, Hassan Piker. That's not who we are. All right, that's who they are, and they've made that very clear with what happened to Charlie Kirk. And I think that you see that funeral, that funeral that had larger attendance numbers than JFK's funeral, Martin Luther King's funeral. And what the left doesn't realize while they're sitting there making these little TikToks, joking and laughing and mocking that a man got murdered in front of his family. What they don't realize is as we said earlier when we discussed this, is that a normal person sees that footage, all right? And that's why I told people, don't shy away from the footage. You need to understand it because you need to understand the gravity of what happened. And they see that. The normal person sees that, who's maybe not as in the know as we are, who spend a little bit more time online or who spend time in this cultural space. And they go, why'd you shoot that guy? Like you mentioned earlier, Ryan. And then they're going to look at footage of Charlie Kirk and what he was saying. And they're not going to stand with the left when they say that, because where he was coming from was not a far right position. It was a very moderate position. It was a very temperate position. And so when the left comes in and like, you should agree with me to a normal person, that's just going to make them slide farther away. There are people who are going to look at that and they're going to retch. They're going to be like, I need to get away from these people. And so that's what needs to happen. Charlie Kirk wanted the conversation. He wanted us, he wasn't for absolute power on one side, but he wanted a side that could have a conversation. The left has now proven themselves virtually incapable of doing that. That's the problem. That's the shift. That's as many people have made the pun, and I'm sure everybody's sick of hearing it, that's the turning point. I do think that you see this funeral and you see, the one thing we talked about Review Tech USA earlier. I mean, how dare you? How dare you say that a widow's pain in that situation is false or fake? Because I will tell you right now, having, maybe Review Tech USA has never had somebody die on them. I've had plenty of people. I've had cousins. I've had best friends. I've had my father die. I've had my grandparents die. You don't know how you're going to react to that news. All right. And it's probably 10 times, whatever I felt is 10 times more agonizing for that woman, for her children. You have no right criticizing that. And you, sir, are a piece of shit for having done so. And I don't say that to be insulting. I mean that you are a literal piece of shit for disparaging that woman. And anybody who does disparage that woman is you're not even human at that point. You're not even human at that point.
Absolutely. Don't worry, Jose. We're a few minutes into a network video. You can swear now.
It's especially,
go ahead. Go ahead.
It's especially insane since he was, for RTU, not only was he doubting that woman, but he was playing clapping clips constantly throughout his little episode of that. Whenever he made a point, it's just he is just someone you wanted to smack. It's like, honestly, Do you go out there and shoot someone who is lying, or do you go out there and shoot someone who is telling the truth? You go out there and shoot someone who's telling the truth because you're afraid of what they have to say.
Exactly. And you history buffs here on the panel know this, but there used to at least be a basic dignity between two sides, which was that you allowed people to bury their dead without that kind of desecration. And the fact that we've lost that, and there are people who, would speak out against that or protest a funeral, or, we talked about Destiny earlier. I mean, he literally called it a Nazi rally. A send-off, to Charlie Kirk is a Nazi rally now. That's absurd.
This is going to sound very weird, but I do blame the internet for many of those things. And no matter what you might think, I am infinitely grateful that the internet exists, because what we're doing now, we have people from at least 3 different countries, from 3 different points of the globe that are talking live right now. We're 5 people from 3 different. I'm infinitely grateful for the connectivity that provides, but that connectivity also has to come with sense of moderation, of sensibility, and a lot of people don't have that. And the internet is sadly one of the sources that allowed for people to not be punished for their actions or their words, because when you were talking shit about someone else, you would usually talk it either over your land phone and they know where you live, or you would do it face to face and have the consequence to you. That's what built us up. That's what happens. That's what built respect. That's what built a sense of having to live in real life, and it actually built a sense of basic morality, of knowing what's right and what's wrong. I'm not saying that the world was perfect before. No, it wasn't perfect. It was very broken then as well, but it was broken for a host of other reasons that didn't involve simple people. By simple people, I mean everyday person. It involved more major events.
The world was better before the internet.
It was
collective,
especially for the ordinary person. It was better
because all the collective shout Karens were at a fuckable age, and if they had gotten that, if they had gotten that penetration, let's say, for lack of a better term, then they wouldn't be censoring games and being female JDAs.
True, but there's a reason. Sadly, being of a fuckable age does not mean you're of a fuckable appearance for that. And I don't think they regret a fuckable appearance.
Digny, Helzo, listen, there's a reason why their logo is essentially a butthole. They're signaling. They're asking you to give them what they didn't get in their youth. All right.
That's the only thing that is still tight enough to actually feel something.
Oh my goodness! Get them dash attack. He likes those.
Go ahead, nuke me. I don't care. But the thing is that what's
the worst you can do? Annihilate this channel, and this will be on Furious Dan's channel next.
Absolutely, and then I'll just go to do my woodworking and music videos, and I'll be free to do my music.
No, it makes it better. Furious Dan, folks. Just to round this topic off, Furious Dan is the smartest creator in our space. He's the Jar Jar Binks of content creation. He pretends to be a moron, but he is actually the smartest person. I've noticed that, because no one can be that stupid. No one.
No one can be that stupid and not be a lefty.
I can't say nobody, because that's a creator in our sphere. No one can be that incompetent and make brakes for vehicles. No. You're having me on.
Let me round this out in one way, because I saw some comments in the chat, and I understand where everybody's anger is coming from, but the $1 million question is, and it has always been this, would be, as somebody who is a spiritual man, what would Jesus do? Also, in this situation, what would Charlie do? Would he try to destroy them in every way, shape, and form? No, he wouldn't do that. And I don't mean that we need to stand with these people. We don't need to extend them a hand. What we need to extend them is actual is the dignity of justice for their actions, because quite frankly their actions will actually speak louder than any words we can yell, because their actions will actually ultimately turn everyone against them. And quite frankly, most of us love superheroes. What's the difference between a normal man and actually a righteous man? Is doing the right thing no matter what happens, even if it hurts, even if it's awful, even if it drags you through the dirt and you just wish it would stop and you want to lash out at somebody else because you're angry, you're frustrated, or whatever. You still do
Indeed.
the right thing because that's what matters. Because if you stoop to their level, you stop being the thing you want to be. You stop being the person you want to be to better your family, to better your kids' lives, to better the world. We can't be that. We can be angry, and that's fine, but we have to be humble. We have to be forgiving in some of the worst ways possible, because quite frankly, if we don't, it only sours our soul.
I'll tell you this,
actually make
folks.
an amazing point, by the way. Go for it.
I was just going to say, shout out to Furious Dan, who says, I'm smarter than the average beer. And yeah, it's bear, Dan. It's how you spell bear, okay? So there you go. There you go, Jar Jar Dan.
Jar Jar Dan. But yeah, what Ryan said is, especially about superheroes, is very true. And let us just remember that woke culture propaganda, especially in pop culture and movies and TV shows and games, have worked like tirelessly to destroy our role models, destroy the superhero role model in every sense of the, and replace them with morally absent people who are to be the new preachers of what is right and what is wrong. That's why we have Robin Hood. That's why we had Batwoman. That's why we have Rings of Power. That's why we had the game Relooted. That's why we have all these things keeping coming out, even though they're all financial failures. They're all swallowing money more than that girl that's filmed herself with 2,000 people.
But
they're
Hellzo,
swallowing money into a black hole that is so infinite. It's never going to stop. You may have a show that has 0 viewers and they're still gonna make a sequel, because that's what the agenda is worth every cent to the people that are driving it behind the curtain.
Exactly. Kill your heroes, replace them with new heroes, and those heroes espouse our values.
Yeah.
Look, the Master Chief taught me to shoot soldiers when they're running away. You know those little alien soldiers with the pistols, how they run away. The Master Chief taught me, shoot fleeing enemy soldiers in the back if you need to, especially when they're running around going.
Look, that's what he taught you, but he taught the new generations to have their ass cheeks hanging out.
Yeah. Oh, for goodness
on Paramount.
Fuck you, 343. Fuck you, Halo Studios. Fuck you, Bungie. But at least you were able, under Microsoft's control at least, to make a few decent Halo games.
By the way, Helza, you brought up a great point with the hero thing and to this Charlie Kirk thing, that essentially the guy who shot Charlie Kirk doesn't realize that he essentially put Charlie Kirk in the history books for this assassination. He's essentially turned Charlie into a bit of a hero in and of himself. Now, is it heroic to be murdered? No, but he sacrificed. He knew that this was the risk going to these college campuses doing this, that some crazy might one day attempt this on him. And he still did it anyway. So that's a big deal, and I think that's going to speak volumes, at least for the culture, because I do think that Charlie Kirk now is effectively immortalized, and what he stood for, whether you agree with him or not, is effectively immortalized in the fact that this event transpired the way that it did.
Exactly. I would point out, even though in a very much more innocent way, that when someone that has been prominent at something dies before their time, while they're making their career and while they're making their movement, or in my case, let's say music, even though that's a much more innocent way, then their music becomes much more louder, and that's what's going to happen with all the Turning Point and Charlie Kirk's message. This is going to echo through time for decades to come.
Elzo, last point before we move on to future plans. You want to make a name for yourself in the music industry? Play your guitar backwards and you'll be Bulgaria's Jimi Hendrix. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, plans, because he did play guitar backwards and became famous for it. 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 24 seconds. So there we go. Future plans, we're going to start off with Legion, because he may have to go very quickly. Future plans.
I hope not. Yeah, no, I thought I heard the door. So, well, got a new house, inadvertently, the one that I grew up in as a child. So anyway, yeah, the screen door, when the wind blows, when there's this storm, it sounds like somebody's at the door and it opens, you hear, and you're like, what the hell? So literally, I'm in the room right by it. So I was like, who the fuck's at the door? But anyway,
that's the ghost of Digny's mentor.
Yeah, that's what it. I don't want him here. He's an angry man. Unless he brings. Well, there's no good British food, is there? No.
What if he brings you candy?
He'll take your house off of you if you don't want him.
He's going to bring you the spotted dick.
I don't want the spotted dick, and it sounds like if he brings candy, he's got a panel van that I want to avoid. So, so anyway, long story short, I think I'm going to. I don't know. I'm so on the border. The Thing remastered or Top Gun. Basically, Ace Combat 7 play. You know, it'd be like. I think I really want to play The Thing though. I've been really enjoying it. It's such a blast to replay the PlayStation 2 Classic. So anyway, I'll probably be doing that after that. Anyway, had a lot of fun. Thank you, for having me on. Look, I didn't know who Discussing Things was. Like, you followed me like a while ago, and I'm like, who is this person? And so it was actually kind of awesome to be able to come on and meet you for the very first time, Scooby. Very first time I've been on a panel with you. I've known who you were beforehand, but we never really followed each other or anything like that because we never really interacted. That Dignan guy, I don't know. He's weird. I don't know. He's got a beard, so it creeps me out.
I've known who you are for quite a while. I think I follow you. I'm not quite too sure. I'll have to double check, but if I don't, I will.
We don't follow each other because I literally would just went and followed you right about 30 minutes into the stream because I don't think I was following Roger, and then I was wrong. I was actually following him, and he was following me. So, oops. But anyway, shout out to Jose for being the resident minority on the panel. Because Furious Dan is probably running from ice again. So anyway, long story short, go subscribe to my channel Legion Talk. It's literally, you can see it in the subtitle. I break 500 and then I drop, and then I break 500 and then I drop, and it's like this roller coaster of ass. I play video games there because it's like my secondary archive channel. But Legion teaches history. I talk about legit history, kind of like we did today about the brown shirts and Antifa and kind of stuff like that. Also pyramids. I like to watch documentaries. Roadkill says, "Don't be gay, Legion." You're the one who's banned your sister from the chat because you can't handle the fact that she was watching me earlier and she complimented my live stream.
Come on, also, guys. Let Ryan chat up your sister. I mean, what's
not what I was saying. Don't say. It's not what I was saying. Also, you were in the Navy. Who the fuck are you to talk about?
In the Navy. Better than
anyway, so no, long
in
story.
The Navy.
This was a great time. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys. Shout out to the chat, all of you guys. Seriously. And if you want to talk politics, go to Legion Wire. Yes, that's a play off the Daily Wire, and I do something called Legion Cast. Well, it's been a long time, but I'm going to start getting into it again because this has really kind of sparked my political side again. And I think I'm going to include, what that nice gentleman did with the Charlie Kirk intro. It's very nice. So anyway,
I go next. Because I want to say a special thank you to all our Jewish viewers, folks, celebrating Rosh Hashanah. So congratulations to all the Jewish viewers and creators out there celebrating yet another Jewish holiday. May it be full of blessings and joy. Shana Tova!
Someone's check just cleared.
No, I'm actually reading this from the UK Prime Minister's official account a few hours after he recognized Palestine as a state. So, happy Jew holiday! We've made a terrorist stronghold a state.
Oh no!
I am the dignified cartoon gentleman. That's at dignified cartoon gentleman, all one word, capital D, capital C, capital G. You can find Legion at Legion Talk, at Legion 2076 Games, at Legion Teaches History, or at Legion Wire. As for me, we're only one subscriber away from 130 subs. We've gotten over 500 views today. We've got 10 videos from today's show. Well, 10 topics, which will turn into videos. I'll find a way, hopefully. And I appreciate everyone for being here. And happy Rosh Hashanah to all our Jewish viewers. Shana Tova, as the UK Prime Minister celebrates your festival while recognizing a terrorist stronghold as a sovereign state. Like time!
Rosh Hashanah? It's a little more quick. Rosh Hashanah.
I don't do anything quick with Jews.
Shh.
So what about you, Jose? What are your future plans?
Oh, no.
Well, tonight I'll probably hop on Dragon Quest X for a little bit. It is MMO Monday, after all, on my channel, Cancel This Podcast. We do a lot of gaming throughout the week, primarily RPGs, JRPGs, because of the fact that most of the Western games these days are complete slop. And, of course, tomorrow is Happy Hour with my co-host, Alcohol John. You can find him Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Yes, and you can find me on the show Thursday nights, 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where politics meets pop culture with snark, sarcasm, and satire. Unless, of course, I've been killed by the angry mob of Final Fantasy XIV soy simps currently in my X mentions, because I decided to recognize the fact that there are Antifa guilds that don't belong in the game. So there is that. So hopefully I'm still alive. Hopefully I don't get it. Hopefully I don't get any more bricks thrown at me, but I'm not making any promises on that one. That happens pretty frequently around here. More frequently than it should.
Look, the only way you can stop bricks being thrown at you, Jose, is if you kiss the wall. Scooby, what are your future plans? Well, Scooby, what are your future plans, sweetheart?
I'm going to take a break from streaming today, but tomorrow I'll pick right back up. Tomorrow afternoon, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, I'll be going mentally insane fighting a bird boss. And then later on that night, I will be playing Lost Soul Aside, and that'll pretty much be all the way up till Friday. And then Saturday, Scooby Pups Podcast, 5 p.m. Eastern, I will have Nerd Wars as my guest. And he is absolutely a sweetheart to have on. And I do simulcast to X and Rumble. So if you guys want to subscribe, you can find me there as well. But those are pretty much my plans, with the exception of also October is October's going to be a special month, because any game that I am playing it's going to be put on the back burner, and everything I do, from podcast to Refuse, which is the show that I do to review games and whatnot. Podcast, Refuse, the Scooby Pups Sparkade, all that stuff is going to be covering nothing but scary things. So I'll be streaming scary games.
Nice.
Scary topics on podcast. Every guest, I'll be talking either horror films, horror games, you name it. Everything's going to be horror filled. I have 2 Refuse already scheduled to do for horror topic. The first one is going to be with That Darn Kitty, and we are going to be reviewing The Conjuring.
You know, that darn kitty, lovely lady. You know, if you ever have her on a horror episode, one thing you should talk about is what's it like living in Qatar? And as for Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, Scooby Pup, you're taking on that bird boss. The name of
Yeah.
that boss should be Succulent Chinese Meal. Because they eat crazy food over there.
That boss is known as the stupid, annoying bitch in my to me.
Oh, it's sad.
I like Discuss said, I will be playing the game. I'll be having fun, and then you'll hear this sweet little voice go. I can't say all the words, but you'll hear me start yelling at the top of my lungs, cussing like no tomorrow, saying words that are most likely going to get me kicked from YouTube. It's not pretty.
Well, as long as they don't cause you to throw up, I'm sure you'll be fine. What about you, Helzo? What are your future plans?
Oh, well, first of all, I want to say how happy I am that we had this panel. It's always amazing, especially when you have new people. And one of the plans is to continue have this show, is to continue bring more and more people, is to continue have lovely conversations that we had today. As for personal plans, continue making videos, talking about topics that I do, trying to raise money for the channel and for homeless animals and animals in shelters, and stream on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm doing Silk Song now, and the difference between Silk Song and a Souls game is that if you suck at Silk Song, it's because you suck at Silk Song. When it happens to something like Elden Ring, it's because just because the game wants you to suffer mentally and possibly physically if you're like me and you try to bash your computer with your foot while it's bare. So those are the things that I'm doing. Also, I'm going to update some of the clips on my music channel from my music section on my streams, and hopefully get around to making some actual songs. But that's pretty much from me.
Good,
I
very
made the
good.
mistake. I made the mistake of making Wu Chang the very first Souls game I have ever played. So this is my reaction to an actual Souls game. I've never played one before. So yeah, I'm really regretting it.
It's very like I'm doing Elden Ring, and it's on the back now because it is as infuriating in battle as it is infuriating in how convoluted it is for you to progress. It's frustrating, and it's bad because the game is actually very beautiful, it's very fluid, and it's an amazing experience when you're not being punished for existing.
Well, the best fluid ain't gender fluid. Just play Halo, where you can commit war crimes in the video game. Oh, the enemy soldier is running away. Gun him down. Just use a few bullets, though. Don't want to waste too much on those little alien bastards, also known as Furious Dans. So thank you all very much for watching the 4th episode of Discuss Things Tangent Kings. I nearly called this show something else. Next week, we'll be having... who will we be having on next week? I think we'll be having a Muslim. Let me just have a check.
No.
That should be an explosive show. Shouldn't it, ladies?
We're very progressive here, fellas. We're very, very progressive.
Oh, wait. Our special guest for next Monday will be Saberpath, whose actual name, which is on the record, and even has its own X page, is Mustafa Al-Hassani. Fantastic guy. Great guy. I'm sure we'll have an explosive episode next week. He was on Saturday Night Hypnosis as a guest, don't you know? But I've been the dignified cartoon gentleman. Thank you and goodbye.
Yay, everybody.
See ya.